following is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are Blackmore! We are Detroit!
The Crusaders of Detroit, Martin Luther King, are no strangers to Ford Field. They were here a month ago, beating Cass Tech in one of the most exciting games of the season that claimed the PSL title. Today they return looking for more hardware, the same hardware that Noel Dean has been collecting for more than 2 decades at Lowell. He leads his battle-tested Red Arrows against the #1 ranked team in the state in this winner-take-all showdown for the Division II crown. The MHSAA football finals are presented to you by Arby's. It's the Division II state title game between the Crusaders of Detroit, Martin Luther King, and the Red Arrows of Lowell. Welcome inside Ford Field, everyone. Along with former Michigan and NFL tight end Derek Walker, I'm Dan Dickerson. This is a fun game. This is a really attractive matchup between two very talented teams that are used to playing in the postseason. Let's start with Martin Luther King. They've got terrific offensive threats. We're going to key on 2 today. Armani Posey and Donnie Corley, explosive.
Yeah, most teams come to Ford Field with a robust run game, but King has come with the run game. With the pass game, Armani Posey to Donnie Corley has been prolific all year. Posey is what his coach called a mature quarterback, a leader. He's thrown for over 1,500 yards and 15 TDs, and he can make all the throws. At 6'3", 190 pounds, wide receiver Corley is a prototype wide receiver. He almost has 100,000 yards receiving and 11 TDs. He's big, athletic, and goes up for the football. For those two to have a big game, this duo has to show up.
The job they did in the snow last week was impressive. Now, Lowell, we know they like to run the ball, but this year they've really been very prolific through the air, and it all starts with Ryan Stevens, who can run and throw.
Yeah, well, Stevens' coach called him a mature quarterback. I'll call him more than that. He's a dual threat. He can both run and pass the football and run this Lowell offense efficiently. Steven has the athletic ability to run and pass. He's rushed for over 1,000 yards and passed for over 2,000. He accounts for 47 TDs. He has led this team to a 12-1 record and a visit here to Ford Field. If Lowell's offense is to have any success today, Stevens will have to play big today on the biggest stage.
And he's been doing that all season long. It won't be a surprise to see he's got a lot of weapons in the backfield and guys who are split out wide to go to. This is as good a matchup as it gets in the high school football state championship games. It's the Division II game against a team that has won 3 state titles in the last 13 years, against a team who last won in 2007, Detroit Martin Luther King. The kickoff for the Division II state championship game coming up next. I sit during that game. Check 1, 2. On headset.
Take my scoreboard and start flipping it back and forth.
If we're caught in the anthem, what do we do? We're gonna be. They haven't even started it yet. Oh, that's right. Brubeck. Did he script that himself?
Gentlemen, welcome. Listen carefully. I'm going to give you my secret recipe how to become a state champion. Number one, you need commitment, and that commitment doesn't start today. It should have started at the end of last season. In the weight room, in 7-on-7s, in agility drills. You have to be committed as, yeah, coach.
Hey, when they're on that odd front, bringing that six-man pressure from the weak side, how are you going to pick that up?
What do you say, just block them better? How about that? Try that for a change. All right, second thing, intensity. You have to exude it so your players want to emulate what you're doing. They're going to get out there, practice hard every day like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, coach.
Coach, the option's been killing us all year. What should we do to stop it?
Just tackle better. You know, I mean, this is simple. All right, belief. You have to believe in your players, then they will believe in you. And if you get that belief, that type of trust, they will do anything for you. They will respond to what you want. Yeah, Coach Nowak, what do you need?
They're in an empty set running 4 verts.
Yeah.
How are we going to cover that?
Just have your guys cover them.
Cover
Try that.
2? Cover 4?
Yeah, whatever. You just have one for each guy. All right, moving on. Follow these simple instructions. You too can create a masterpiece. Look at this. State championship trophy. It's time. Let the big dogs eat. On Fox Sports Detroit.
You gotta love it. It's simple. There's Noel Dean. He keeps it simple, and all he does is win. 20 seasons, 200 wins. You can do the math. 10 wins a year. This is what he was like inside the locker room just a few moments ago.
As soon as you realize you're already dead, you're going to be able to fight like hell. All right? So we got nothing to lose here. We're playing with house money. Let's go have some fun. All right? Let's
Dale Harvell across the way, 7 years as a head coach. First time to the finals as a head coach. He was an assistant when King won in 2007. He has loved coaching this team. He couldn't be more impressed with the young men that he has on the team. A 13-0 record for Detroit Martin Luther King. The Crusaders against the Red Arrows, their first ever meeting. King won the toss, elected to receive. George Gonzalez will kick it off for the Red Arrows of Lowell. And we are underway in the Division II state title game at Ford Field. Donnie Corley, the explosive wide receiver, on the return. Can he get to the edge? He does, but look at the swarming Red Arrows cover team as they bring him down as he just crosses the 20-yard line. A gain of 17 yards from one side of the field to the other. Armani Posey is the quarterback for Detroit King, and Dale Harvell very impressed with the young man who started the year as a wide receiver.
Yeah, and he's come on, and he's a quiet leader, and he's been consistent all year.
Our quarterback is a very athletic kid. He can make all the throws that we have him to make within our offense. And he's a great leader, and he stays within our offense, and the kids trust him on offense, and they really follow his lead on what we do offensively. So he doesn't turn the ball over, and he's a great kid to play quarterback for King.
It's mainly a spread offense. We're going to see a lot of different looks, a lot of different formations, but this young man, Armani Posey, wide receiver turned quarterback in week 3, is the guy who makes it go. Out of the gun, he'll give it off. And not much there for the big back in the backfield, Martel Pettaway, as we take a look at the numbers for Armani Posey. It's not a lot of attempts, but look at the yards per attempt. It's 16, almost 17 yards per attempt. And in the snow last week, 4 for 5 for 180 yards. And 3 touchdowns.
And I think what we have to take into account is that he didn't start playing quarterback for the team until the 4th or 5th game of the season.
Very athletic. His coach, Dale Harvell, knew that he could handle it, but he was not the backup quarterback. Wide receiver, and then they had to make a change, and this was the young man they turned to, and he has been very, very good. Back to throw, looking deep. Whoa, look at the arm on display, and he went deep for Donnie Corley and just overthrew him, but won't be a surprise, Derek, to see that a few times today. He's got a terrific arm, and he's got a guy with wheels in Donnie Corley.
Well, you got 2 guys that can get it done, and Posey throwing the football, and Corley that can go and get it. And anytime you have a wide receiver, 6'3", 185 pounds, that can run past defenders like Corley can, you got to take your shots.
So 3rd and 10. 4 wideouts for the Crusaders of Detroit Martin Luther King. Senior quarterback Posey looking to the sidelines. changing the play. He'll be both under center and out of the gun a lot today. 3rd and 10. Motion, and they'll back him up 5. Looked like the right tackle, Jordan Igafos, moved a little bit early, setting up 3rd and 15. It is a big, talented offensive line.
Dead ball. False start. Offense. 4th down.
Yeah, you're always going to get those jitters early in the game, state championship, and obviously both teams just high, and it's just a matter of which team can calm down first.
Always good to get that first hit out of the way, the first touch out of the way. First big play. Both teams, you can see, changing for Posey. The Red Arrows defense doing the same, adjusting. 3rd and 15. Posey facing pressure, steps up, but he's swarmed by the Red Arrows defense. Danny Cruz and Nathan Stevens leading the charge. A loss on 3rd down, a loss of 6.
And that's what Lowell's defense wants to do. They want to get after Posey. Coach talked about they were going to bring pressure. You could see them bring a corner off the edge. Good coverage on the backside. Great win for this Lowell defense on the first possession.
Zeth Dean and Alex Anschutz deep for Lowell. The punter is the quarterback, Armani Posey, and he'll be punting out of his own end zone. Good first defensive effort by the Red Arrows. End over end punt that will bounce right by the 50-yard line, picked up by Zeth Dean. And Zeth Dean, the coach's son, gets across the 50-yard line before Kevin Willis brings him down. So the Red Arrows go on offense today. We talked about Ryan Stevens in the pregame. Noel Dean, very impressed with his senior quarterback.
He's a gamer. You hear that a lot from different quarterbacks, but Ryan manages the game very, very well. He's a multi-sport athlete and tremendous student in the classroom. So all the things you can be pretty proud of.
And that was a point he emphasized over and over, wasn't it, Derek? The ability to manage a game. He said it's hard to imagine any quarterbacks who are better than his senior quarterback at managing the game. Out of the shotgun, they give us up the middle to Max Dean. Look at that offensive line. Pushing and pushing. Dean keeps the legs going. The helmet flies off. And in the end, it's a gain of about 6 yards.
Yeah, Max Dean, he's that powerful runner, north-south style, and you can see it there, just taking the ball inside. Good blocking, but at the end, you see his feet just keep driving and just able to move the power. And that's going to be important today, as they're going to be able to have to run the football to take some of this clock and manage this game.
Quickly up to the line. Keeper for Stevens, and he's not going anywhere. Lawrence Bryant on the stop. Basically no gain. Take a look at that offensive line. This might be, in the eyes of the head coach Noel Dean, who's seen the best group of offensive linemen that he's had, comparing it to the championship teams of 09 and 04. Max Dean is the guy to keep an eye on in the backfield. That's the nephew of the head coach. He's gained over 1,100 yards this year, averaging 6 yards a carry, 17 touchdowns for Max Dean, the senior. He's in the backfield most times with the quarterback Ryan Stevens, not this time. Stevens is going to step up, run, but he's going to be short of the first down. The pocket collapsed. No gain. Lawrence Bryant in on the tackle again. So from the 39-yard line, we'll see what Red Arrows can come up with here.
Yeah, King's defense is a swarming defense, and they know that Ryan Stevens is a dual-threat quarterback, so they're going to try to keep him contained, keep the defensive ends upfield, and just make sure they have a spy to keep Ryan Stevens in check today.
This is one of those areas of the field where sometimes it'll be a punt to pin a team deep. Sometimes you'll go for it right here, and the Red Arrows elect to go for it. And man in motion. Stevens alone in the backfield. A quick toss, and it will not get to the first down. The flag flies late. We'll see if that's a face mask. Sawyer Olesko on the carry. If that's a face mask, that will be a first down for Lowell. Flag came in just as Olesko was being brought to the ground.
5-yard face mask. It's enforced at the end of the run. First down, red.
Yeah, it's a very interesting call on 4th and 5, but they get the benefit of the face mask to get the first down.
And you could see that Cepeda Phillips definitely had a hold of it and was turning the head. And when you see the head turn like that, that's a pretty obvious call. Lowell Dean was talking about the need, Derek, for maybe doing something big early in the game, something a little different for them. There's a keeper by Stevens. He gets across the 30-yard line. That's a good pickup on first down before he's brought down by the other quarterback, Armani Posey. But maybe something to put a little bit of pressure on. Again, this is the best team in the state. Detroit Martin Luther King. They've beaten Cass Tech twice, the Division I finalist. And we might see something from Lowell that's a little bit different early.
Yeah, well, you're at the state championships. Why not? I mean, you might as well go for it. You know what type of team that Martin Luther King has. They can score points. So points are at a premium. You have to try to score when you can. Take some chances.
Give is up the middle. Good push on that offensive line. Max Dean keeps pushing. And he gets it inside the 25, very close to a first down. Let's take a look at that Crusader defense. There are a lot of key players, but Leon Page is the guy up front to keep an eye on today. Linebacking core, Lawrence Bryant, Cepeda Phillips are key. And then the lockdown corners are Lavert Hill and Donnie Corley. We talked about Donnie Corley's offensive abilities. He has just as much ability on the other side of the ball.
Yeah, that secondary is something to be reckoned with. We'll talk about that a little later, but they have a lot of Division I players in that secondary.
Third down along 2. Stevens on the keeper will get the first down. Right down to the 21-yard line. A pickup of 4 on the play. Cepeda Phillips brings him down.
And you can see that offensive line asserting himself man on man, coming off on linebackers, and a big hole for Ryan Stevens to run through.
So Lowell keeps it moving, keeps the chains moving after their first stop of the powerful King offense. Got the ball just shy of the 50-yard line to start this drive, and now they've got it down to almost the 20 of the Crusaders. Stevens facing pressure, gets it out quickly. Good catch inside the 10-yard line. Pushed out of bounds. Sawyer Olesko. Good run after the catch, and it'll be first and goal for the Red Arrows.
That was great poise by Ryan Stevens, just sitting in the pocket. Olesko out in the flat and playing man-to-man coverage. Sometimes when you go inside and there's a wide receiver going inside, there's a pick set. Olesko came wide open. First down, first and goal.
Alex Anschutz, one of the wide receivers with a good block that time on the blitz. Give up the middle, and not much there for Max Dean. Gets it a little bit closer to the King goal line. We're going to give him about 1, maybe 1 on the carry.
Yeah, no matter what happens in this drive, whether they get 7 or 3, I think Lowell's done a good job of asserting themselves. Defense came up with a stop, and now offense has a drive going and chewing up the clock.
Max Dean has done that all year long. Give his left side, or did he ended up keeping it? He kept it in the gut for a long time, and it was a handoff to Dean. Looked like Stevens wanted to change his mind and keep it.
Well, I'm sure he has that option. I mean, Stevens has been the guy all year that they've rode to this state championship, and he's going to be assertive today, and you're going to see a lot of things that he can do. His coach has a lot of respect in him and knows that he'll get the team in the right place. So I wouldn't be surprised if he fake handoff and take it himself.
Was going to go under center, now out of the shotgun on 3rd and goal from the 4. Steps up, looks into the end zone, fires, and the ball is knocked away. Good defense by King. Jeremiah Fuller ended up breaking up that pass in the end zone.
Yeah, and you can see that coverage. King likes to play man-to-man, and you can see everybody just shadowing their men and coming over. Jeremiah Fuller making a great play on the ball.
Thought that was good movement in the pocket by Ryan Stevens that time, Derek, moving around in the pocket to get himself a lane to throw. Yeah,
well, Stevens is going to give it to you all. I mean, he's a good quarterback, and he knows how to step up in the pocket, so he's going to avoid many sacks today.
George Gonzalez, a 21-yard field goal attempt. This is basically an extra point from the left hash. The kick is up, and it is good. George Gonzalez completes a nice drive for the Lowell Red Arrows with a 21-yard field goal. 3-0 Lowell early.
Our Michigan Army National Guard soldiers train as little as 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks in the summer. Get a degree with money for school. Learn job skills that translate to the civilian world. Make bonds that last a lifetime and earn pride for life. If you're at least 17 and a high school junior interested in learning more about the Guard, text My Guard, that's MIGUARD, to 95577.
The MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by the Michigan National Guard, proud to be the official armed services partner of the MHSAA, and by your local Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
And happy Thanksgiving, everyone. I hope you had a chance to enjoy the holiday yesterday with family and friends and enjoy this holiday weekend. 8 high school football championships being decided here at Ford Field over 2 days. Earlier today, Muskegon Catholic Central won their 3rd consecutive state title. See the head coach, Noel Dean of Lowell. His teams have won 3 last year in 2009. They actually reached the finals in each of the next 2 years and lost in the finals, but he is very familiar playing on the turf here at Ford Field. Gonzalez to kick it off. And they're going to try to keep it away from those dangerous return men. That's Jeremiah Fuller, who is stacked up at the 35-yard line. Keeps the legs going impressively. He's going to get it out to about the 37-yard line. 13-yard return. Well, the big back in the backfield is Martel Pettaway. Just transferred to King this year, and he is wearing the number 32, which was in retirement by King High School for his brother. His brother was on the 2007 state championship team. Devin Pettaway won the state title and passed away, died of a heart attack in the King gym just a few months after that state title game. And his brother, Martel, wears his number and takes, he says, a little bit of my brother onto the field with me every game. And we've got a terrific feature at halftime from Justin White about the Martel Devin Pettaway story. In the backfield, Pettaway with a carry, and the other 32, Danny Cruz, wrapped him up for a loss on 1st down.
Yeah, Danny Cruz looked like he just came in untouched and made a good play on the backside. Misdirection play, give to Pettaway. We know they're keying on Pettaway, even though they have a great receiver on the outside, but King possesses a run game and a pass game that's very efficient.
He didn't buy the misdirection, did he? Empty backfield for Armani Posey. Everybody packed in tight, but he's got 5 receivers right now. Looking downfield, he's going to check down to one of his underneath receivers. Across the 40-yard line, then finally pushed out. Ambry Thomas gets the pass from Posey, a gain of 11 yards. Remember, they had the big loss on 1st down, so still 3rd, and we'll call it 3 from shy of the 45-yard line.
Yeah, that's great composure by Posey, just taking a look downfield. He had trips to the left-hand side, and nobody came open, came underneath to his wide receiver, Thomas. So you can see that Posey is very composed, and going to do a great job today reading defenses.
Pettaway in the backfield with Posey on 3rd and 3. Changing, we see a lot of this from the King offense, changing the play at the line based on what the defense shows, and the flag flies. You wonder if they took too much time.
Well, it looked like the offensive guard may have got going a little early.
Dead ball. False start, offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
False start against Martin Luther King.
Yeah, Melvin Sylvester just trying to get going. Still a little jitters, but every time you're at the line and you're changing the play, and offensive line gets in their stance for 4, 5, 10 seconds, they expect some type of rhythm, and I think that's what's happening to the offensive line is that Posey continues to change the play, and he's taking a lot of time.
2 false starts, third penalty of the day for King. And that changes the look of this third down, now 3rd and 8. Corley, the dangerous wide receiver, is split to the near side. Lots of time down the middle, but he missed his target badly. Dontre Boyd, the intended target, but Posey threw behind him. It's a terrific arm for Armani Posey, but he missed badly that time on his intended receiver Boyd.
Yeah, you can see the arm strength by Posey, but if you look here, just coverage everywhere. You got a safety coming down, driving on Boyd, and makes the play. Posey throws the ball behind, but you can see what Lowell's doing. They're doing good on the defensive side. Their defensive secondary is playing well and stopping them from throwing the football, what King wants to do.
Dean and Anschuts back as Posey punts it. High in the air, a floater, and a fair catch called at the 30-yard line by Alex Anschuts. Red Arrows move the ball. The Crusaders of Detroit, Martin Luther King having trouble doing that so far. 3-0 Lowell as we near the end of the first.
It's not whether you win or lose, it's how much fun you have after the game. Join us tonight at Applebee's for late night half-price appetizers. Applebee's, the official restaurant of the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Don't forget, fans, that after the third quarter today, Michigan Army National Guard 100-yard challenge will take place. Sign up for a chance to win an Applebee's gift card at the National Guard display on the concourse.
$3-0 Lowell with a little over 3.5 to go in the first quarter. We told you on Lowell, no stranger to the finals. Take a look at the Lowell Red Arrows, the OK White Conference on the west side of the state. A mere 140 miles from Ford Field, but what great success, and it's just one of those community programs. Noel Dean makes the players part of the community. The community is very much invested in this Lowell team, and the consistency they have had in this program under Noel Dean over 20 years, again, 200 wins, have been very impressive. Keeper Stevens, he turn it up as he crosses the 30-yard line. He takes a tough hit from Justin Turner, 6'3", 250-pound senior defensive lineman for King. They've got some size up front with Leon Page at 240 pounds, Damani Green at 285, and Robert O'Neill at 240. That is the defensive line for King.
Yeah, and Leon Page, coach talked about him just being a Division I guy going to say got an offer from Central Michigan, and he's a guy on the defensive line that's going to make some plays.
Stevens fakes, goes deep, has a man across the 40-yard line. Gabe Steed all the way down inside the 30 before he's pushed out of bounds by Lavert Hill. Simple crossing route, perfect throw from Stevens.
Great play call by the Lowell offensive coordinator. Kept everybody in. He knows that King likes to play one-on-one on receivers. You can see everybody in blocking, and one-on-one, it's kind of hard to stop a guy one-on-one when you have a run fake going in there also. Great pass protection by the offensive line, and they're doing a great job of mixing run and pass.
36-yard gain. The give is up the middle, picking his way through that line as Max Dean keeps the legs going, gets another yard or so after the initial hit. We'll call it a gain of 4 on first down.
And you can see the game plan, just eat up the clock, play action pass, you get your run game going. Max Dean's doing a good job in there, and Ryan Stevens has a great control of this offense.
And this is an explosive offense. We talked about how Martin Luther King certainly has an explosive element to it, but this is a Lowell offense that scored 564 points this year. And there's Dean again, keeping the legs going. It looked like he had nothing as he went through the line. Keeps the legs going, gets 5, and it looks like they will mark him just shy of the first down. Dean, 5'11", 185. This is a wrestler.
Well, yeah, you can see
he's tough.
Yeah, you can see he's a tough guy. He's always keeping his feet moving. You got to make sure you gang tackle him, but then you look at there, and that doesn't even work. But you look at this offense and what they're doing, and just you've talked about how they've scored so many points this year. It's because they can run the football and pass when they need to.
Dragging a 300-pound defensive tackle with him for 3 more yards. He gets the carry here on 2nd and short or 3rd and short, and he gets the first down. Across the 20-yard line, a gain of 4. A little bobbled snap, and Stevens handled it. Boy, that's a good job to get the ball into Max Dean's stomach without losing the ball.
Yeah, I mean, because they do a lot of faking, and at some point, Stevens is going to fake the ball to him, but they do a good job with ball security.
Is it give to Dean again, or is it a keeper? Oh, it's a keeper by Ryan Stevens. A lot of read options, Derek, for this offense. Describe what that means for the fans who are watching.
Well, a lot of times when you're running a read option, you want to make sure that the defensive end or defensive tackle is reading their assignment. And if he's not, then either you're going to hand off to that running back going up the middle, or the quarterback's going to keep. And I'm sure they have many variances off of that scheme.
And the decision-making, the game managing is so good for Ryan Stevens. Here is the keeper, and there's really nothing there. Oh, boy, he is stacked up. Tyrese Woods leading the charge along with Leon Page.
And here he is, just that fake, and they're going to have to do that off of that, because you're going to have some different plays that you can run. I mean, you can even see the evaluation of where he may even pull it out and throw the ball to the tight end over the middle. So there's a lot of different things that the defensive coordinator has to key on for King.
That's just what you were talking about. He pulls the ball back because he's reading the defensive end. He thought he had something, but in the end it wasn't there.
And it keeps the defense disciplined. I mean, you have to be a disciplined defense to go against this offensive scheme.
3rd down, long 3. Dean up the middle, and a push from the offensive line. Keeps the legs going all the way down to the goal line, and tackled just shy of the end zone. Max Dean again with an impressive run. 10 yards this time. It's 1st and goal for Lowell.
Every successful team starts out with an offensive line, and Coach Dean talked about his offensive line being the best he's seen since he's been coached there, and you can see the way they're asserting their will on King's front.
And now with a hurry-up offense, they give it to Dean. He is stopped shy of the goal line, but the flag, because the Crusaders did not get everybody off the field.
Infraction on the defense, half the distance to the goal, 1st down.
Go back to the run from Dean. Look at this push, and look at his legs.
Well, yeah, just an inside handoff. They've done this 4 or 5 times, and the result has been 3 or 4 yards. And anytime you continue to lean on that defensive line the way this offensive line has, those 3 and 4 yarders are going to turn into 6 and 7 yarders.
He was stopped at the 6-yard line, and he made it to about the 6-inch line. So that was about a 3-inch penalty to end the first quarter. Half the distance to the goal. Impressive first quarter for the Red Arrows of Lowell, trying to win a 4th state championship for their head coach, Noel Dean. They'll have it 1st and goal when we come back. 3-0 lead after 1.
courtesy of Sparrow Health Systems. And now we have Tyreek from Detroit, Martin Luther King. Congratulations, Tyreek. You win a $50 Applebee's gift card courtesy of Sparrow Health Systems. Thank you, Kellen and Tyreek, and thank you to Sparrow for your support of the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Where you go for care matters. Choose wisely. Choose Sparrow.
Look at it, cool lad. Look at it. Look at it.
Back inside Ford Field, Dan Dickerson, Derek Walker. Lowell dominates the first quarter, only a 3-0 lead, but there's your dominance, Derek. 105 yards of total offense to King's 1.
Well, Lowell came out and they were aggressive. 4th and 5, they went for it on their side, on King's side of the field, and that's the tempo they've set.
That's the distance the Red Arrows need to score a touchdown to add to their lead. Stevens on the keeper, puts his head down, pushes forward. Does he get in? We are waiting, and linesman says no. Well, credit to the King defensive line there, because it looked like they had the push going up front. Jaquan Boyd.
Yeah, that offensive line has done
stopped him.
He's done a good job all drive and just wasn't able to get in. You always wonder when the referee comes in and he's trying to spot the ball, like, you know, how does he really know where to put it down?
Jaquan Boyd, that's why he stopped him. 300-pound defensive tackle. When Stevens hit him, he did not move him.
Big play here for the King defense.
Offensive line for Lowell's been getting the push all game long. And time called. Timeout called. It looks like by the Crusaders. Dale Harvell didn't like what he saw, so he calls timeout, the first used by King. MHSAA.TV will have live streaming coverage of the post-game press conference from this game. Plus, you're going to find highlights and archive of all of the weekend's championship games. Get bonus coverage of the football finals at MHSAA.TV. Kind of an interesting timeout, Derek. It's 2nd and goal from about the half-yard line. What do you think it was that Dale Harvell saw or wanted to change or talk to his team?
Well, that's really kind of interesting because he came out of a timeout before, and maybe it's just the way they lined up. I mean, sometimes when you have a quarterback like Ryan Stevens that can do multiple things, you want to make sure that you're set. It looked like King had bunched in and anticipated run, but Stevens has the ability to fake like we've seen and go on the outside. So maybe it was just a call to his team to make sure that everybody holds on to their responsibilities.
You're absolutely right. Everybody was packed in tight, but he can bounce it outside. As you said, 47 touchdowns. That's what Ryan Stevens has accounted for, 16 with his legs running the ball. He's going to give it off inside with a second effort. Touchdown, Lowell. Max Dean takes it in a 9-0 lead for the Red Arrows.
And true to form, like Lowell, they drive all the way down the field with Max Dean. So why not give him the touchdown, give him the ball? He's been responsible for all the running and the extra yards throughout the whole drive. He did a good job here, just continuing to move his feet and get in the end zone.
I'm so impressed with the yards that he's getting after the initial hit. I mean, that was a blow that he took from Lawrence Bryant there. And he was stopped behind the line, and he ends up in the end zone. We saw that throughout the drive. George Gonzalez, extra point block, but flag flies.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense. What does he want to do?
Noel Dean says, kick it again, probably.
Unless they're giving free points.
You're going to give me a 2-point conversion, I'll take that, but otherwise we'll just kick it again. High snap, but the ball placed down nicely. And that's Max Dean on the hold, and the extra point from George Gonzalez. And it has been one heck of a start for the Red Arrows as they take a 10-0 lead early in the second. Max Dean carried the load on that scoring drive. Big completion by Stevens at one point. That's an impressive drive, Derek. A little bit of run, a little bit of pass, some good hard running, and 10 plays, 70 yards later, it's a touchdown for the Red Arrows.
Yeah, and a drive like that gets the offensive line going, gets them some confidence, and just make sure they can continue to move the pile. If you see some of the runs that Max Dean had, even though his feet kept going, the offensive line kept pushing downfield, picking people off, and that's like when I talked about how those 2- and 3-yard gains turned into 6 and 7 because the offensive line is so aggressive downfield.
Thought they might not kick it deep with that bunch formation, but they will. That's Kevin Willis on the return. Gets past the 20-yard line, but brought down at the 25. 17-yard return. King will finally get the ball back, but this is exactly, Derek, you were mentioning it earlier, this is exactly what the Red Arrows want to do. Possess the ball and keep this King offense off the field.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do when you have a team that's so explosive like King. I mean, they possess a great wide receiver, quarterback, can make all the throws. They got a running back over 1,000 yards. But Lowell, they weren't standing for that today. They want to come out, start fast, and this defense has done a great job of that.
In the snow last week, they scored 40 points on Livonia Franklin. That was last week in the snow. Snow affected a lot of the games, but it didn't affect this offense. They know how to put points up in a hurry, but so far it's been all Lowell. Dominating defensively, just like that. Martel Pettaway leads the charge. Martel Pettaway on the carry, and not much there. Trevor Sherlow. Derek Massey stopping him after a gain of maybe one, not even.
Yeah, King's offense has to try to get something going, whether it's the play calling or the assignments that the offensive line. It always seems like someone's free running the backfield, and Lowell's done a great job of keeping King in 3rd and long. So let's see what they can do on 2nd down to get to a more manageable 3rd down and short.
A bunch formation to the near side. You've got some big threats in Dontre Board and LeVert Hill. This will be Ambry Thomas on the carry, and he's going to get close to a 1st down, but still a couple of yards shy. Alex Anschutz on the tackle.
Yeah, King possesses a lot of weapons, and they can run sweeps and jet sweeps, and you can see here just getting to the outside, and Lowell does a great job of stretching the ball out. You can see the corner being blocked by the running back, just not giving up his responsibility, and that's the discipline that you see from the Lowell defense that's helped them keep King out of the end zone and in 3rd and long all the time.
And Schutz ran a long way, senior linebacker, leading that defensive core along with Max Dean and Nathan Stevens. 3rd down and 2. Crusaders looking for their first down of the day. Posey rolling, throwing, and missed an open man again. Lawrence Bryan was out there, the big tailback. And Posey has not yet been able to connect with some of his threats out of the backfield or from his wide receivers.
Yeah, this King offense seems a little frustrated. You see Posey, he can just hit him right there, but he takes more time to roll out and throws the ball in front of him.
So again, Posey will be back to punt. This will be his third punt of the day. Dean and Anschutz back for the Red Arrows. Posey at his own 20. Ball bounces, he bobbles, but he gets it away to his credit. And that's going to be caught by Zeth Dean. That's the son of Noel Dean. Let's take a look at how these two teams reached the finals. Red Arrows scored 97 points in the first two rounds and didn't let up. Big win over Muskegon. That really stands out for Lowell in the regional finals. That's a traditional rival on the west side. And you look at how Detroit King got there. Very impressive wins over Wyandotte Roosevelt, East English Village, and then Livonia Franklin, as we mentioned, in the snow in the semifinals last week. Amazing that all those games actually were played last weekend with one exception. One game was pushed back to Sunday, but there was a lot of heavy snow around the state. A quick toss and a man wide open at the 40! Inside the 40, the 30-yard line, 20, 10, and brought down inside the 5-yard line. David Cruz, a linebacker and backup quarterback with a long gain.
That was a great play call. You just got a lineman on the end going towards the backside, and anytime you have man coverage, those are the type of things that you can get confused on. The offensive lineman, the tight end, just coming down and block, and come off to make a play. And big play, great play call by Lowell.
The backup quarterback does not catch many balls. Caught a 62-yard pass from his quarterback, Ryan Stevens. Max Dean on the carry on first down, first and goal. Not much there. Robert O'Neill brings him down. How about that? David Cruz, the sophomore backup quarterback, going back in the game with a huge play.
And you got to give the offensive coordinator from Lowell a lot of credit. You know, that's probably a play that they've been working on for 2 or 3 weeks, and what a perfect opportunity to use it in the state championship. Nobody expected that to happen. Tight ends as blocks. Usually Stevens is the one, or Max Dean is the one that gets all the attention offensively. So great diagram, great play calling in this championship game.
Lowell tried to take a 17-point lead. Stevens is rolling right. He makes one man miss, but now he's just going to try to get back to the line, and thanks to his line, he gets back to the line of scrimmage and might have even gained a yard, which is amazing. It looked like he was going to lose 5.
Yeah, it just seems like a different fight in Lowell today. I mean, they come off and looks like they have Stevens dead right in the backfield. Quarterback does a good job of just containing him and just continuing to push. And it looks like every time there's King players around the football, there's also some Lowell offensive linemen continuing to push the pile.
That's Damani Green, a little bit shaken up after that hit. He's going to stay in the game. It's 3rd and goal for the Red Arrows. They have dominated play so far. King still without a first down. Lowell has been moving the ball up and down the field. In motion is Dean. Keeping it is Stevens. Cuts it up inside. Bangs into the end zone. Touchdown Lowell.
And that's what's so special about Stevens. He's able to run that option and just pick the holes and continue to drive his feet. He did a good job. Offensive line did a good job on the outside linebacker, just moving the pile. And Stevens is a special player. Over 1,000 yards rushing, 16 TDs rushing, and he's the guy that they're going to have to account for.
Extra point is up and good. Rogalki, Schaefer, Murley in that offensive interior, pushing the pile and getting Stevens into the end zone, and it's a 17-point lead for the Red Arrows. Ryan Stevens, highlighted in the open, has led the way for this Lowell offense.
Yeah, we talked about him being a dual threat, and you can see his passing efficiency, putting the ball where it needs to be downfield on that one-on-one coverage, and then the tight end delay. Big fella just rumbling down the field. You love to see that from your tight end. And then here, just what they've been doing all game. Offensive line pushing, Ryan Stevens driving his feet into the end zone.
David Cruz. You're right. I think the King defense, that's the last person in the world they expected was going to get a ball that could lead to a 60-yard gain.
Well, they're concentrating so much on the wide receivers and Stevens, and here's a guy at the end of the line that probably never hasn't caught a pass or minimal passes this year, and you work on those things for the last 2, 3, 4 weeks, and you never know when you're going to use them, but you can't take them home with you. This is the last game, and they did a great job of executing.
Gonzalez to kick off. King has been rocked back on their heels. And a little pooch kick to keep it away from the dangerous deep man. That'll be fielded at the 30 and roll. That's a big hit. Dorsey Kelly on the return. And David Cruz was the one who dropped him after a very short return. So, Derek, what does this King offense need to do to get going, or what is Lowell doing to prevent them from getting a powerful offense on track in any way?
Well, I think King has to just get some first downs. I mean, that's the first thing. You got to start just getting some momentum and getting first down. Whether you have to punt after a successful series, that's okay. But you got to get some type of momentum going. Maybe come out and throw the ball on first down. It seems like they've been running the Pettaway up the middle, and Lowell's been doing a good job of stopping that. So they're just going to have to create some type of wrinkles to get this going.
Corley was targeted on the first pass, has not been since. And Armani Posey is going to be hauled down on a keeper. No gain on first down. Nicholas Kloosterman, the senior defensive end, leads the way as Lowell swarms to the ball again.
Yeah, you just give credit to this Lowell defense. I mean, they're assignment conscious, and guys are making plays. People are assigned to the quarterback, they're there. People are assigned to the running back, they're there. So it's a great defensive scheme, but also good focus by this defense.
Dale Harvell, the head coach for the Crusaders of Detroit, Martin Luther King, says, we want to run the ball. We want to impose a will. I mean, he really is a believer in that. A lot of coaches talk about that, Dirk, but he really believes in that. But like you said, they can't get anything going on the ground right now. And they're facing pressure like that. And Posey will try to throw the ball away. He was in the grasp of the Lowell defenders, about 3 in all. And they're going to call it an incomplete pass.
We talked about it earlier. The Lowell coach Dean said that they were going to bring pressure. They brought the linebacker Max Dean up the middle, made a great play, and that's what this team is all about. They know if they could put pressure on King's offense and make them do things earlier than they want, then they'll be successful today. And obviously they're going to double and triple team Corley.
Now they throw the flag. That sure looked like intentional grounding. There was no receiver in the area. And that's going to back King up.
Intentional grounding on the offense. Loss of down. Second down. 5-yard penalty from the spot he threw it.
So he was out of the pocket, but that rule does not exist in high school. Plus, he didn't get the ball past the line of scrimmage, I don't believe, with the toss. So loss of down, huge penalty. And this sets up 3rd and 20. 9 plays, 9 yards going into this drive. And again, King is going backwards. 6 penalties so far have been whistled on the Crusaders. 3rd and long. Quick toss on the slant cut. And now Boyd making people miss. He's going to get the first down and a whole lot more. He's got a blocker downfield. Inside the 20. Inside the 10. Hauled down inside the 5-yard line. The big play that King has been looking for all day. Dontre Boyd almost scores a gain of 73 yards.
And that's a great play call. Just get the ball to one of your playmakers early. Don't sit back in the pocket. And you can see Boyd here just making people miss and using their ability. They have so many wide receivers that can make plays, not just Corley, but you see here, Boyd just making a big play, almost getting to the end zone. But that's what King needed, some big play. And usually there's one guy, 1 or 2 guys that can step up and make it. And Boyd did it there.
Credit to Ambry Thomas, who was blocking for him downfield, got him the extra 30 yards or so. Derek Massey made the touchdown-saving tackle. 1st and goal at the 2 for King. Pettaway, nothing there on the left side.
But you almost feel with this Lowell defense that they're not going to be able to get in the end zone by running the football. Their defensive front linebackers have done a great job. You can just see everybody. You can see King's offensive line in the backfield. That's a great push by the defensive line. So King's going to have to come up with some type of, fake run play or somebody in the flat to get the touchdown, because running the footballs hasn't been working.
Loss of 1 on first down. That touchdown-saving tackle by Derek Massey might end up turning out to be huge. Play coming in from the sidelines, coming in a little bit late. King's got to hurry. They're going to have to call timeout. And they do. This will be the 2nd timeout. But hey, you better make sure you're on the right page and everybody's thinking along the same lines. No confusion. This is an absolutely critical possession for the Crusaders. We had a chance to talk with head coach Dale Harvell earlier in the day. This is a Division II team, but the #1 team in the state because of 2 impressive wins over Cass Tech, and Dale Harvell talked a little bit about that earlier today.
Those are the things that you don't worry about because you can't control that. What you can control is what you can do every Friday or every Saturday with your football team. And my kids are very aware of the external things, but the external things, they don't let affect them.
You beat the best team, or at least one of the 2 finalists in Division I, Cass Tech, twice in a year, Derek. That's pretty impressive. Those are 2 great games. 31-28 win and a 27-25 win.
Yeah, King has had a very impressive season. They've been able to get here, and things have worked out well for them, but they're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit before this half.
Spread the offense out on 2nd and goal. Posey on a keeper, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Crusaders.
That's what we talked about they need to do. We see that Lowell's done a great job of stopping their run game all over the field, and they needed some type of fake to get to the outside. You can see Posey here, just good fake to the running back, walks into the end zone.
They converged on Pettaway after the fake, didn't they?
Well, they're committed to stopping the run.
Anwar Mia on for the extra point for the Crusaders. Good snap, whistle blows though.
Penalty flag prior to the play.
Dead ball, false start, offense. Repeat.
It's going to drive Dale Harvell crazy. That's 3 already today on King false starts. 7 penalties total. That's a rather irritated look for Dale Harvell. So Mia, now this will end up being an extra 5 yards, basically a 25-yard extra point, and the kick is up, and it is good. So let's meet the Crusaders of Detroit, Martin Luther King. Our school profile. They're in the Detroit Public School League. They've won one of the 3 PSL championships state titles belonging to PSL teams. Cass has won twice, King once. Just a couple of miles from Ford Field, Coleman Young, George Gervin, notable alums of Detroit Martin Luther King, the Crusaders. Gervin could light it up, couldn't he?
Oh, yeah. Iceman. I used to have his poster on my wall sitting on those ice cubes, man. That was pretty sweet.
So 65 yards in 5 plays, and it was a 73-yard pass that ended up being the key play in the drive. Finally, they were able to break a big play after the penalty, and they were looking at 3rd and 20.
Yeah, Danny, you were talking about how do you get going. That's how you get going. You get a big play, put it in the hands of one of your weapons on the outside, and you try to get the momentum back.
Fuller to kick off. A low-line drive won't be easy to handle, but the Red Arrows do. That's Zeph Dean. And he gets it across the 20, keeps the legs moving across the 25-yard line. So this will be a test now for the Crusaders defense. They really haven't been able to stop Lowell today. And if they could come up with a stop here, suddenly the momentum shifts a little bit in this game.
Yeah, this is a huge possession for the King defense. Let's see if they can get a stop here and go into halftime 17-7, or maybe even try to get the ball back for a big play. But this is a lot riding for King on this series.
Offensive line for the Red Arrows has been very impressive so far. That's a big line they're matched up against. But we're seeing why Noel Dean believes this might be his best offensive line in his 20 years. They give his left side, that's Derek Massey, senior tailback, and there's not much there. Leon Page leading the gang tackling for King.
You can see there King's defense just selling out on the run. Coach probably put him on the sideline like, okay. Their offensive line is driving us back. Let's make sure we hold our position.
Three in the bunch package to the near side. That's Massey in motion. Stevens going to throw in the middle. He's got a man wide open. Sawyer Olesko inside the 20. Will he make it? He's hauled down inside the 10. Armani Posey brings him down. Another huge play for the Red Arrows.
Another great play call by Lowell's offense. Offensive coordinator, just a seam route by the tight end. Oleski lining up in the tight end position. And again, the man-to-man coverage that King runs, they are not accounting for the man on the line of scrimmage. And that's been a problem in the last few big plays. The one before that with the tight end, and then Olesko there, a split end coming in to line up tight.
Cruz 62 yards, and now Sawyer Olesko 67 yards. This is what King prides themselves on, Derek, that ability to cover man-to-man. They think it gives them a real edge up front. They can put man coverage on and bring a lot of pressure from the front 7 guys.
Well, the part is that they're going to have to go in at halftime and figure out who has the tight end.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously the outside people are the outside people, but someone's missing an assignment on the inside.
Boy, 2 very similar plays, and you talk about wide open. There's nobody within 10, 15 yards. First for David Cruz, and now for Sawyer Olesko. Join the conversation on the football finals this weekend by sharing your pictures on Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag MHSAAFB. You can see them on our broadcast or on FoxSportsDetroit.com. Make sure to follow us on Snapchat at FS Detroit all weekend long.
You use Snapchat?
I do not.
Okay.
I do not. Other social media and I get along okay, but not a lot of Snapchat.
That's a little new to me. My nieces and nephews was telling me about it at Thanksgiving yesterday.
Get the whole storyboards going. It's pretty interesting, actually. Well, Dale Harvell's got to be more than just a little bit, if not confused, certainly wondering who's missing the assignment. Look at Ryan Stevens, 5 for 6 for, well, it's only 30 yards per attempt there, 180 yards. Or spotlight player in the open. We knew coming in, Derek, that this young man could lead this offense, but it's probably a look that King has not seen that has led to the two biggest plays.
Well, yeah, they came in with some wrinkles, and that's what you have to do when teams have seen your film all year, 11, 12 games. You have to do something different, especially on this stage, and Lowell's done a great job of mixing it up.
3 wideouts for Stevens, who will keep it. Tries to cut it up on the inside, and he's going to be brought down after a gain of maybe 3.
Just that fake that they've been doing, and sometimes they give the ball to Max Dean, sometimes Steven keeps it, and sometimes I think in the third quarter they're going to be throwing off that formation, so that's another thing that King's going to have to worry about. They did a good job of pursuing to the ball and stopping Ryan Stevens.
Second and goal from inside the 5. 3 yards away from another score for the Red Arrows. Dean into the end zone. Touchdown Lowell. Second touchdown of the day for Max Dean.
Max Dean has done a great job of churning out yards, but you see Bryant here in the backfield missing the tackle, and you're not going to bring him down with one player. We've seen him time and time again drive his legs and get in the end zone. You're going to have to bring what they used to call a lunch if you're going to try to tackle Max Dean.
That's twice that Lawrence Bryant has hit him in the backfield on a touchdown run or shy of the line of scrimmage, and he just keeps the legs going and gets into the end zone. Extra point is up, and it is good. Max Dean is the nephew of Noel Dean. Zeth Dean is also a senior wrestler. He gets more playing time on the defensive side of things. And Zeth Dean talked about the tradition at Lowell and the team that he's been a part of this year.
I just know that what we have in Lowell, as far as the community and the football team and just everyone, is something very special because we're just all so tight-knit. We all know each other. We all support each other. It's just, you win a game and you have people to celebrate with because everyone's there supporting you. And if you lose a game, you have someone there to support you because everyone just cares so much about everyone else. And I think that's what's so special. It's not about the wins or the losses. I think it's just about the people.
That's something that Noel Dean, his dad, has preached for a long time. And the other thing that's kind of special, Derek, there are 18 younger brothers on this team of players that Noel Dean coached in years past. And he says that kind of connection, when they go play Muskegon, he says, go call your older brother tonight. Ask him what this Muskegon game means to you or meant to him. And then the next day he had them all come back and share their stories from their older brothers about what, say, a Muskegon game meant to them.
Yeah, and you can see how they're building a football team and building a community. I mean, anytime you have brothers that can share their experience with their younger brother, that means a lot.
18 younger brothers on this team for Noel Dean, players that he had coached. Embry Thomas on the return, so what an answer for the Red Arrows after King scores potentially a momentum-changing touchdown, and they come right back with a big play of their own, score another touchdown to retake the 17-point lead. Take a look at Noel Dean's resume. That 200th win came during the postseason against arch-rival Muskegon, maybe the most impressive win of the playoffs for the Red Arrows, a 36-7 win over their arch-rival. 7 regional titles and a 3-time state champion under Noel Dean. Great consistency year in and year out. Embry Thomas on the carry, weaves his way, eludes one tackle, but in the end he's only going to gain 6 yards. Derek Massey on the stop. Remember, King only has 1 timeout left.
Yeah, and you can see King trying to get to the edge to use their speed, but Lowell's done a great job of pursuit, keeping their angles, and guys upfield not letting the runner get outside. Great disciplined defense and gang tackle.
Posey, a little short toss. That's Corley, who's not handled the ball much here in the first half. It's a good open field tackle. He does get the first down, but the clock is ticking.
And that's what they're going to have to do with Corley. Just get him the ball and get him in space and let him do some things like the long pass they had earlier. Just get him the ball and let him work his magic. I mean, he's a 6'3", 185, 90-pound receiver, the Division I prospect. And he should be able to make plays, but you just got to be able to get him the football.
Levert, Hill, Dontre Boyd, Donnie Corley all average at least 20 yards a catch. This one's deep down the right sideline, intended for Corley. Nope, just out of his reach, intended for Levert Hill. And he got behind his man. The ball just overthrown by Armani Posey.
And you can see the timing just a little bit off. Posey did a good job of catching the snap, but wide receivers got to continue to run. You can see him looking back. Sometimes you just got to dig, and get, at the last second, look up and know that the football's coming. So it's just a misconnection between the quarterback and the wide receiver. Maybe the quarterback has to make a better throw, but then at the end of the time, when you look at the film, the wide receiver has to keep running.
2nd and 10. That's Corley, top part of your screen. Split wide right. He's been quiet in the first half. Pressure coming, and Posey, swarmed by the Red Arrows defense. Keeps the legs going just to get back to the line, but Max Dean and Logan Vandermeulen haul him down, basically no gain, and King will take their final timeout to stop the clock with 38 seconds to go.
Yeah, just good coverage in the secondary. They're going to bring pressure. Max Dean has been coming every play when Posey's dropped back to pass, and he put the pressure on and got Posey out of his throwing rhythm. Great job by the defensive coverage on the back end and providing pressure on the front.
Boy, to take Donnie Corley out of this offense like Lowell has in the first half, very impressive. But as we said, there are a lot of weapons, but especially when you shut down Donnie Corley.
Yeah, and again, it goes back to when you go in at halftime, the adjustments you have to make is that you're going to have to get Corley the ball early. I mean, stop going downfield. Obviously, we know he can make some big plays, but you got to be able to get the ball to him early and let him make some moves.
One big gain, Dontre Boyd just took a short pass from Armani Posey and turned it into something big. King looking for something big with 38 seconds to go in the first half. They can't stop the clock in the timeout, but they can get out of bounds. First down markers move, stop the clock that way. But they're looking for a big play to add a score before halftime.
And we know they have the weapons to make that big play.
3 wideouts to the right for Posey. Pettaway in the backfield with him. Deep down the left sideline and caught, but out of bounds or inbounds. We'll have to wait. They are saying he was inbounds at the 11-yard line. What a catch by Levert Hill.
And that's what we just talked about, the long pass. We know that they can make that big play. Levert Hill just a go route. And anytime you have the speed and the ability, you see him coming up, catching the ball at his highest point, laying out, getting 1 foot in. He also got a knee in, so that's 2.
42-yard gain, as pretty a catch as you will see from the senior Levert Hill. Posey throwing to the end zone, caught, touchdown! Back to Levert Hill, and the Crusaders score for the second time today just before halftime.
Great poise by Armani Posey, just sitting in the pocket. Great route by Levert Hill, and he puts the ball where it needs to be on a slant route, deep slant in the end zone. Great possession by King, being able to make a couple big plays and just hanging in there before the halftime. That's a big drive.
Posey just made 2 terrific throws. 54 yards in 2 plays. The extra point is no good. Pulled wide left by Anwar Mia. But what a big touchdown for the Crusaders. We knew they had the big play capability. We didn't see it until the Boyd 73-yard gain on the last possession. And now 2 fine plays to cover a lot of ground in just 13 seconds.
Yeah, I think what happened is they figured out that Corley is going to be double teamed and they're going to have to throw it to somebody else to make a big play. And they've been able to do that in that possession with Levert Hill.
Oh, I love this catch right here. It's as fine a catch as you'll see. Not bad coverage at all. That's the only place he could have thrown it for the catch. And you're right, both a foot and a knee down.
Yeah, and that's just athletic ability. You have the guys on the outside that can do it. Sometimes you get caught up in just throwing the ball up and you miss a few, but at some time when you make that connection, those guys down the field that can make the plays, they come in big chunks, and King has the players that can make those big plays.
Huge touchdown for Detroit. Martin Luther King just before the half. Lowell has been so far unstoppable when they've had the ball. Deep kick this time, and Seth Dean will watch that one go into the end zone. 25 seconds to go, unless they've got one more play where they can use that tight end sneaking him out. One more time, you would think Lowell is content to just let this game get to halftime.
Yeah, well, I know one player that's not going to be open, and that's the tight end.
There's a look at some of the big plays. Gabe Steed had a 36-yard catch, and the two that really stood out, Sawyer Olesko, 63 yards, and then David Cruz, 67 yards. It was reverse order. David Cruz the first with a wide-open catch from the tight end spot, and then Sawyer Olesko. And they will indeed just take a knee and get to halftime. What an entertaining first half in Division II. Big plays were the theme of the first half. Menards brings you the big money moment. Look at the plays we had. First, it's the short toss to David Cruz, who turns it into a big gain. The backup quarterback doesn't get many catches. He made the most of it. Stevens then banged his way into the end zone. Here's a short toss to Dontre Boyd, and he uses his speed and legs to go 60 or 73 yards, leading to this touchdown run by Armani Posey. And again, the tight end gets wide open. Sawyer Olesko dropped just inside the 10, leading to another Max Dean touchdown. And then the two big plays for King at the end of the first half. Great catch by Lavert Hill, and then the touchdown pass to the same Lavert Hill. Two fine throws from Posey. Let's go down to the field right now. The head coach of the Lowell Red Arrows, Noel Dean. And Noel, you used a little bit, if not trickery, certainly David Cruz and Sawyer Olesko were wide open. Two nice plays, were big plays for you in the first half.
Yeah, and I like the way we were able to run the ball too. So there's a lot of good things there that we can build on, hopefully, and move forward.
You really like this offensive line. You said it was one of the best that you've had in your years at Lowell. They certainly showed a lot in the first half, didn't they?
I do. I think they're an underappreciated group of kids that, hey, what do you say? Most offensive linemen are, though. So,
Noel, thank you very much.
You bet. All right.
Noel Dean, his team leading by 10 at halftime. We talked earlier about Martel Pettaway and the story with his brother who played at King in the 2007 championship team. That story, and it's a good one, coming up from Justin White next.
The MHSAA football finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards on all your home improvement needs.
Everyone copes with loss differently. For some, it's by running away from it. But that's not how Martel Pettaway sees things.
Halftime of the Division II state championship game. Big touchdown for the Crusaders of Martin Luther King. The Lavert Hill touchdown pass from Armani Posey gets the Crusaders to within 11 points at halftime. Terrific first half. Well, this Martin Luther King football team is loaded with talent all season long. Crusaders have a lot of players who are headed to Division I next year, including their very talented running back, Martel Pettaway. Pettaway is going to attend West Virginia. As a senior, Martel had a singular focus this year, helping King win a state title while honoring a legacy every single time he puts on the uniform. Justin White has the story.
Everyone copes with loss differently. For some, it's by running away from it. But that's not how Martel Pettaway sees things. For Martel, the best way to deal with loss is by running straight at it.
That's every day with me, just like, I gotta keep grinding, and knowing it's not enough, it just pushes me every day. That's all I really need right there.
Martel is a senior running back at Detroit's Martin Luther King High School. He's helped the Crusaders to an undefeated record and a shot at their first state championship since 2007. Back then, another Pettaway was wearing the Crusaders' black and gold.
I just looked at him so much. It was just like, he was just the man to me. Like, in my eyes, I saw him as almost a god, you could say.
Martel's older brother Devin was a key member of King's defense when they won the state title. But 5 months after the ultimate triumph, the Pettaway family endured its greatest tragedy. In April of 2008, Devin was in gym class when he suddenly collapsed.
Get a call from work from a neighbor saying my son collapsed in the school, and it's like, huh? And I'm like, okay, well, I'm leaving the job. I'm on the way up there. And then my neighbor's still on the phone with me. And he was like, but they saying he's not breathing a little bit. And I'm like, huh? And it's like, now I'm dreaming, I'm awake, driving, but at the same time, it's like it's really ain't sunk in yet,
I pulled over. I'm like, what, He was like, well, somebody called and said Devin had collapsed in the gym. I said, okay. And he said, just pull over. And when I had pulled over, another call had came in to him. And he just kind of dropped his head. And he was like, Teresa, we gotta just make it to the hospital. But he didn't make it.
Devin Pettaway was 17 years old when he died from cardiomyopathy, an abnormality of the heart. There were no warning signs, no chance to say goodbye. 10-year-old Martel had to deal with losing his brother, his best friend, and his hero.
It was very hard, man, because I was just like, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. You know, we did everything together. And it was crazy because one of my closest friends, he's like my little brother, right? And he has an older brother that went to school with my brother also. So I just see them two, you know, it just kind of hurt me. Like, oh, man, my brother's gone. He's with his brother. It just hurt.
As the family came to grips with their grief, Martel turned to the same game his brother loved, becoming a standout running back at St. Clair Shores South Lake. Not long after his junior season ended, the Pettaways moved back to Detroit's school district. Martel knew exactly where he wanted to play his senior season and who he'd be playing for.
It was very high emotions, especially for my mom, my dad, man. That's actually why I didn't come here my freshman year, because there was so many the thought about me coming to this school would just kill her. So it was a lot of emotion just knowing that I'd be walking the same halls that he walked.
That will always be the place it occurred, you know. And see, still some of the coaches, some of the teachers, they're still there. And they talk about Devin a lot to him. They always got stories about him. Yeah, I remember Yope. So it's like it's something he living every day.
Not only is Martel going to the same school and playing for the same team as his brother, he's also wearing the same number. Devin's number 32 was brought out of retirement before the season, just for Martel.
My mom was really pushing me to wear a number. Like, she would ask, like, so whenever you going to wear we go there? I was like, maybe 32, just nod her off, whatever. But I was really going to always wear it, but she just always just like, I think you should wear 32 because your brother, yeah. So, and then my dad was like, yeah, you know, your brother played hard in that jersey, so I guess it was just, I think they love what I'm doing for him.
And when number 32 gets the ball for King, great things usually happen. Martel has always had talent. Now he's running with a purpose that belies his pain.
It's been a major outlet for him, you know, because sometimes, you know, you see him in his room, he don't come out, and then you want to ask him what's wrong, and he always say nothing. But then when he goes to the field, he can be around other friends, you know, and then like a release valve for him where he can get out and just run hard and just do what he naturally does.
What do you think he would think about the player that you have now become?
It's not good enough. Not good enough. He was a critic, man. He was a big critic. But every time I was on the field, man, he's just a critic. But I think he'd be proud of me. But, you know, he still believes that, you know, it could work at more. I believe in that, too.
For Martel Pettaway, there's still more work to be done. One more game to win to accomplish a goal he set when he first came to King. He'll do it the only way he knows how, by running straight at it, and he won't be alone.
What was the movie where it said the angel in the outfield? Well, that's what I see. I see an angel in the end zone. Because I do some of the moves that Martel that made, I swear that you would think Devin was behind him, lifting him up, running him down there. So I just, that's all I can see. I said, I just want to believe he there with him every time he hit that field.
What a terrific story from Justin White. In addition to being one of the top running backs in the state, Martel is also an honor roll student. He's going to study engineering at West Virginia. And his parents, Mark and Teresa, urge parents of young athletes to have their kids screened for heart conditions. Those screenings could save a life. We're at halftime of the Division II state championship game. Lowell leading by 11. The second half kick, and a look at the stats next. Halftime highlights are brought to you by Arby's. The highlight in the first half early was this Lowell defense.
Well, yeah, it was all Lowell defense. They did a good job with pressure, stopping the run, and also getting some sacks, and they were very disciplined on assignments. Their defensive line did a great job minimizing King's offensive line. And then the big plays started for King. They weren't able to hit deep passes, but now big plays after the run, and then a big catch here by Lavert Hill, and a post route by Lavert Hill to score.
That catch from Lavert Hill, the big long catch, one of the best of the day, but it's the Raiders, the Red Arrows, at halftime by 11.
You can catch all of the action of this weekend's football finals on Fox Sports Detroit. Some of this weekend's games will be shown live on Fox Sports Detroit. And the Division 4 game on Friday will be streamed live on Fox Sports Detroit.
Halftime, Lowell Red Arrows move the ball consistently throughout the first half. They lead by 11. Second half kick is next.
Nearly 2,000 of the state's top student athletes will be recognized for excelling academically and in school activities. The MHSAA Scholar Athlete Award, underwritten by Farm Bureau Insurance. The applicants will be in the running for a total of 32 $1,000 college scholarships. Applications for this year are closed. Watch the MHSAA for the announcement of applicants, finalists, and scholarship recipients in the weeks ahead. The Michigan State Police is committed to keeping children safe in the army, encouraging and empowering our children by cybersecurity. Visit michigan.gov/MSP-cyber.
Claws up, you fight. Fight your way back in this. You understand me? Yes, sir. We got to play defense and we got to play plays. Okay? Fight your way back in this. Do not let them put your head underneath the water. Got it? Let's go.
Hey, man. Let's survive, dog.
Dale Harvell's team certainly is battle-tested this year with the schedule that they played. 2 wins, as we mentioned, over Cass Tech in the Division I finals tomorrow afternoon. And that was a big touchdown, Derek, right before halftime. You've got to believe that this is a team that knows it can score in bunches, but they hadn't done much of that in the first half. To score quickly like that seemed to be huge.
Yeah, and they're going to have to continue to do things like that, but you're also going to have to get your conventional run game going and your short passing game because that's going to run some clock. You don't always want to be in a position where you have to make big plays at the end of the game.
Lowell gets the ball to start the second half. Their offense was nearly unstoppable in the first half. Short squib kick, fielded by one of the up men to the 35, 36-yard line, and that's about it. Tough going as Connor Duma returns it. Look at the halftime stats, and certainly the number that stands out. Detroit King likes to run the ball. They didn't like running it in the first half. They weren't getting anywhere.
Well, Lowell did a good job of assignments on the linebackers and the defensive line and stopping the run and putting King in some uncomfortable third down situations.
50 yards rushing combined for the two teams, 325 yards through the air for the two teams. We knew that both teams could throw, but Ryan Stevens has been very impressive, and Armani Posey made two big throws at the end of the first half. That's a really good arm for Armani Posey. So Lowell, really their offense was not stopped in the first half. We'll see what the Crusaders do here. Keeper for Stevens. Cuts it back inside. First down and more on the first play of the second half before Cepeda Phillips brings him down. Gain of 11 on first down. Look at those first half possessions. Scored every time they had the ball, and there really wasn't any indication at any time, Derek, that King was ready to stop this Lowell offense.
Yeah, they were consistent. They had a great play calling by the offensive coordinator, mixed run pass real well, and Stevens did a great job of commanding the offense.
Three wideouts for Stevens. Read option look. The give is to Dean. And Dean never goes down with the first hit. Gets 3 very tough yards on first down. Ryan Stevens, as you mentioned, he's run for over 1,000 yards this year. It wasn't always the case with Ryan Stevens. Noel Dean says this is an offense where the quarterback has to be a threat running the ball. And last year, he said, after a loss to Caledonia, where they were shut out, he had a little sit-down with Ryan Stevens and said, if you're not going to run the ball, he was reluctant to run it, I'll find a quarterback who will. And Stevens got the message as Dean carries on second down and gains about 4. Stevens got the message, finished the year strong, 1,000 yards on the ground this year. So it took a little bit of encouragement, but he looks very natural. The decision-making is very good, Derek, and he's running the ball with a lot of confidence.
Well, I think Noel Dean understands. He's been here before, and he understands what it takes. It takes a good running game throughout the season, and that just doesn't appear on the state championship level. You got to be able to do it throughout the year, and he was able to convince Stevens that that's something he needed to pick up in his game. So great coaching move.
1,000 yards on the ground, 2,400 through the air for Stevens. And it's worth repeating, 47 touchdowns to give here. Dean is going to be stacked up, and he's going to be short of the first down outside of the 40-yard line of the Crusaders. So what does Noel Dean do here? Pin him deep?
Well, if you remember the first possession of the game, he went for it on fourth down. So pretty interested to see the punt team come in. Noel Dean has been very aggressive today.
It's going to be Gabe Steed punting for the Red Arrows. Donnie Corley is deep for the Crusaders. First punt of the day, and it's a fake right in the middle of the line, and a first down for the Red Arrows. Still going inside the 20, inside the 15, down to the 5. Incredible run for Nathan Stevens. 25 yards after the first initial hit. He takes it down to the 5-yard line on a fake punt, in Lowell as first and goal.
Yeah, you almost felt something coming. They went for it on the first possession we just talked about on fourth down, and you knew they probably had something cooking, but just great play calling and relentlessness by the offense, by the punt team, and just coming out. Way to keep his feet moving. A little help from the punt team. Just a great call.
Incredible run. Give is up the middle, and very little there. Oh, Stevens on the keeper. Gained maybe 1 yard on first down. That run really was something.
Well, he just kept his feet moving and team participation. I mean,
like
just
a little participation there.
Yeah, that never hurt anyone. But I tell you, they're coming out very aggressive today, and that's not going to stop.
Give up the middle, and Max Dean for the third time today into the end zone. Touchdown, Red Arrows.
I mean, you sense that every time Lowell gets the football, they're going to get yards down the field and score some type of way where it's a field goal or a touchdown, and they just come out the second half and continue to assert themselves. You can see the offensive line just caving down that right side of the line. Max Dean walks in.
Credit to Carson Murley and Mitchell Davis on the right side of that line for the Red Arrows. The extra point is up and good. It was a big hole for Dean to run through, untouched, into the end zone. A fake punt is a big one for the Red Arrows. Max Dean has scored 3 touchdowns, and Lowell leads by 18.
The Michigan Army National Guard is proud to be the official armed services partner of the Michigan High School Athletic Association. Get a degree with money for school. Learn job skills that translate to a civilian career. Make bonds that last a lifetime and earn pride for life. If you're interested in learning more about the Guard, text MIGUARD. That's MIGUARD to 95577. Need to receive from Martin Luther King. 44 George Gonzalez will kick off for the Red Arrows.
Lowell has had 5 possessions. They have scored 5 times today, 4 touchdowns and a field goal. Their lead is 18, their biggest lead of the day. A little short pooch kick. Will be fielded by the up man for the Crusaders, Jeremiah Fuller, and he's got nothing on the return. Martel Pettaway, subject of our halftime feature, has been very quiet in this game, but you really expect, you watch those highlights and you listen to him talk about his brother Devin on that 2007 team. He says every week, I want to make my brother proud, and last week especially, he said he just really felt his brother with him on the field. And as quiet as has been for Martel Pettaway in the first half, Derek, I've got to believe, given the big plays he's made all year long, they're going to find a way to break Martel Pettaway free for a big gain or 2.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to, because Lowell has control of this game.
Boyd on the reception on the short toss left side. He keeps the legs driving. He gains about 9 yards on first down before Trevor Sherlow and Max Dean haul him down. First 3 possessions, a grand total of -1 yard for the Crusaders, and then the 2 touchdown drives. And right now, if this game is going to become a shootout, right now the offenses have kind of taken control. Been through the air, really, for both teams. Short toss, right side, Ambry Thomas. Makes one man miss, makes another man miss. Down the right sideline, he's going to reverse, go back to the middle of the field, head that way, and get cut off. But that's a big gain on second down before Nicholas Kloosterman brings him down after a gain of 16.
And that's what we talked about right before halftime, is that their running game wasn't going, so now you got to create a pseudo running game and get your playmakers involved. Just throw the ball to the outside and have your playmakers make plays. I mean, these guys are big-time receivers, and they're able to make people miss in space. And this is just a substitute for the running game that's non-existent.
Pettaway in the backfield with Posey, and Pettaway's going to get the carry this time left side, but just nothing there. You talk about keying on a back. Sherlow and Kloosterman converge on Pettaway. The fact that they've been able to absolutely shut him down. He averages 9 yards a carry. He gained over 1,300 yards this year, and so far a non-factor.
Well, every good coach knows that you have to stop the run regardless of what level you're at. And Lowell's coach has done a great job of keying on Martel Pettaway and stopping the run and putting the ball into Posey's hands to make plays.
A lot of threats among those 4 wide receivers right now for the Crusaders. Posey back, under pressure. Stiff arms one man away. Now he's going to go deep. Flag flies into the end zone. Caught but out of bounds. That was Corley, but the flag, and we might have a hold back in the backfield for King.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Repeat, second down.
We'll take a look at why he had so much time. It was a really nice stiff arm by Posey to buy himself some extra time right there. And then the hold. You could see it behind him.
Yeah, he did a good job to avoid the defensive linebacker coming in. But, again, when you have that much time.
Boy, he throws a good ball, doesn't he? I know that was too long, but that ball just jumps out of his hand. 2nd and 20. Actually, with where the hold was, 22. 2nd and 22. With a 10-yard penalty after the loss on first down. Now deep down the right sideline. Oh, just overthrown. Lavert Hill. A step behind his man and the ball just out of his reach.
Yeah, King has made some big plays on 2nd and 3rd and long, and they're going for the touchdown here to Lavert Hill. At the end of the first half, they had success with Lavert on the go route and also on the post route for the touchdown. So they're going to continue to try to dial its number. They're doing a good job of defending Corley on the other side. Someone else is going to have to show up.
Look at the average distance for the Crusaders on 3rd down. Their average 3rd down has been 3rd and 10. Certainly the game plan for the Red Arrows coming in. Forcing them into the 3rd and long. This is 3rd and 22. On the left sideline, ball is caught by Corley. But, oh boy, late hit, and that's going to result in a first down. Lowell had it defensed well. They gave him the soft coverage underneath. Again, they would have made it 4th and 8, and instead the late hit will give King a first down inside the 30.
Yeah, Lowell's been pretty disciplined up to this point and hadn't had many penalties, if any. Just an aggressive play trying to get Corley out of bounds.
Head ball, personal foul, defense, first down, 15-yard penalty.
Big penalty. That was 3rd and 22. It's going to be 4th and 8.
I mean, I think as a coach, you can kind of accept these type of penalties. You don't like the false starts and things like that, but you always want your players to be aggressive, and looked like he almost tried to lay off, but Corley did a good job of just staying up. He's a very big receiver, and it's hard to bring him down.
First down inside the 25. Back and forth we go. Both offenses moving up and down the field. Thomas with his short toss right side. Stiff arms one man, tries to get away from another, but always seems to be 3 or 4 tacklers nearby. Trevor Sherlow finally brings him down with some help. That's a short gain on first down. We'll call it a gain of 4. But this clearly is the new plan of attack. They're going to go deep still, Derek, but like you said, this is the running game now.
Yeah, I mean, that's what they had to come out of the locker room with. They see how aggressive that front 4 is and linebackers for Lowell, and they're stopping the run, so you have to make adjustments, and that's the adjustment they made, and they're going to have to live with it.
Willis in the backfield now with Armani Posey. As the Crusaders change the play at the line, 18-point lead for Lowell. King trying to do something about it. Midway through the 3rd quarter. The give is to Willis. He's going to get across the 20, shy of a first down. Danny Cruz brings him down. And that brings up 3rd and short. 4-down territory absolutely for King at this point.
Yeah, King's operating on a double-edged sword. We talked about it here in the booth, that if you get a big play and you put your defense back out on the field, they're gassed. So Lowell's just going to go down the field and score. But, you know, you just need to put a drive together, but you also want to score as quick as possible.
Lowell crowd urging their defense to come up with a stop. to give his right side. Flag flies inside the 10 is Kevin Willis, but this one probably is coming back. That's almost surely against the Crusaders.
Well, Lowell's defense is great at pursuit, and everybody's assignment friendly, and you could see the hold on the wide receiver out there just trying to get his running back to the edge, but been great pursuit by Lowell's defense today.
Holding, offense, 10-yard penalty, spot of the foul, repeat third down.
So from 3rd and 4 to, from the spot of the foul, 3rd and now 12, and that look from Dale Harvell tells you what you need to know about where his team is right now. But again, this is a team that knows how to pick up yards in big chunks. Pettaway in the backfield with Posey.
You got one-on-one up top.
You would think they'd try to find a way to get the ball in the hands of Pettaway, even out of the backfield. 3rd and long. Posey will throw left side, and good defense at the last moment. Gabe Steed stepped up and knocked the ball away from the intended receiver, Donnie Corley, setting up 4th and 12.
Now that was a good challenge by Gabe Steed. Had him one-on-one, knew where he had to get the first down, and just came up and closed the gap and made the play, knocked the ball out. Great play by Gabe Steed.
Really nice play by Steed.
Especially when you're staring at a 6'3", 185-pound top receiver in the state or even in the country.
In the country, you're right. Corley is very good on both sides of the ball. Says he's actually enjoyed playing defense more this year. Probably going to play receiver in college, you would think. Fourth and 12. Posey's going to step up, throw on the run, has a man, and has a touchdown. Donnie Corley into the end zone for the Crusaders.
Finally, the connection that we've been seeing all season, Posey to Corley. Posey does a good job of buying time, stepping up in the pocket, keeping his eyes downfield, and hitting Corley. Corley just comes across, and with his big playability, just able to make the play. You can see how disciplined his routes are. He cuts them off and just stays alive in the middle of the field, even in traffic, just able to make the catch.
What a really nice play, like you said. Posey stepping up, keeping his eyes downfield. He knew that he probably couldn't run for the first down, and he found a man for 6. Mia missed one extra point. This extra point, he bangs it through. And that is a huge 4th down conversion for the Crusaders. Back to within 11 late in the 3rd. Donnie Corley's been a little bit quiet today, but that's a big touchdown catch. And this King offense, which could not pick up a first down on each of their first 3 possessions, now has scored on their last 3. These have been long drives. This time a 10-play, 65-yard drive. Armani Posey converting on 4th and 12 to get the touchdown fine move to get away from some pressure and find Donnie Corley for the 25-yard score.
Yeah, King's problem hasn't been chunks of yards today. They're able to do that on 3rd and 2nd and long. It's just that possession and keeping the drive alive.
End over end kick, fielded by Zefdine inside his own 10, across the 25 before he runs into a wall of Crusaders. And Lowell will start just shy of their 30-yard line. They have not been stopped. The only time they were stopped right before the half when they took a knee. So this King defense has been very good all year. Really, the time they gave up some points was to Cass Tech, but other than that, they shut teams down, giving up 10 points a game. There were 8 games this year where they allowed 10 points or fewer. But this powerful Lowell offense, which averaged 43 points a game, is showing why here today.
Well, I think sometimes when teams give you get down here and teams give you different wrinkles that you haven't seen, it's hard to defend until you go in at halftime and try to make the adjustment.
Flags fly before the snap. And they came from the back judge on the defensive side of the ball.
Illegal substitution on the defense, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Illegal substitution against the Crusaders. 5-yard penalty moves the ball to the Lowell 32-yard line.
The 5-yard penalty makes it 1st and 5. So until King can show they can stop the Red Arrows, the offense can keep scoring all they want, but they've got to show they can stop the Red Arrow offense, and so far they have not been able to. Nathan Stevens on the carry this time. They are really spreading the ball around, Derek. I mean, different receivers, different backs. When the backup quarterback gets a big gain, you know you're spreading the ball around.
Yeah, Lowell's doing a good job of the run game, and until King commits to stopping the run and, selling out on one end, either you're going to stop the run or stop the pass, but with Lowell, they just have to stop the run and then go from there. Until they stop Max Dean and Ryan Stevens, it's going to continue to be a long day.
3 wideouts for Stevens. Low snap, but he gets the ball to Nathan Stevens. He is just stacked up right at the line on first down. Nothing there for him. So Max Dean getting a bit of a breather right now, and it's Nathan Stevens in the backfield.
And that's been King's problem. Lowell's been getting positive plays on first down. Anytime you get 5-6 yards on first down, make second down, you can take a shot downfield, and third down, you know it's your running game, you can make a first down. So that's the problem King's been facing. First down, giving up too many yards.
2nd and long. Stevens to Stevens, and the younger brother, Nathan, bangs his way for a few tough yards, gain of about 5 before Leon Page, the senior defensive end, brings him down, and this becomes a very big play for the King defense.
Yeah, huge play. You got to make a stop, obviously, down by 11 points. The time is in your favor. We know King can make big plays, but they got to make a big play right here on defense.
Stevens, a little confusion, changing the play and moving guys all around, but this is what he does, and he does very well. Look at this formation. 5 receivers, and he threw over the middle, and a little miscommunication perhaps, but there was nobody there. Gabe Steed, the nearest receiver, but there wasn't anybody there where he threw it.
But that was just good pressure from the front 4 with a delayed blitz from the linebacker coming. Good pickup. Quarterback probably could have stood in there a little more, but pressure from King.
Steed was going the other way. He stopped and went right, and his quarterback thought he was going to continue on over the middle. If he had, he would have been wide open. So 4th and 4, and the Red Arrows are going for it. They've caught King, perhaps. And, wow. The whistle blows as the ball was not snapped. The entire offensive line went in motion right. Was there a timeout call? There was no flag thrown. Must have been a timeout called by Lowell. No, by King.
Well, there's a lot of activity going on, and obviously 4th down. King's trying to set up, thinking they may have punt it at 4th and 5.
What exactly were they doing there?
No, I've never seen that.
The center never snapped the ball.
I was going to try to make some sense out of it, but I can't.
I was going to say maybe the fumble-rooski, but usually you hike the ball at the fumble-rooski. MHSAA.TV will have live streaming coverage of the post-game press conference from this game. Plus, you're going to find highlights and archive of all the weekend's championship games. Get bonus coverage of the football finals at MHSAA.TV. We are just getting started. 2 games so far, 6 more to go. It's been a highly entertaining game. 4th down. Will it be a punt? Stevens is the punter, and he does. Low line drive punt with nobody back. And that ball's going to die right at the 10. So the confusion and the different looks that Lowell gave King forced King into a timeout and meant that nobody was back for a 47-yard punt that died on the 10-yard line. There is a flag back here by the line of scrimmage. And the officials are talking this one over as we look at the drives today for the Crusaders. Nothing on the first 3 drives and a whole lot on the last 3. 3 touchdowns. Let's listen into the call.
Personal foul. Kicking, receiving team, half the distance to the goal. King's ball.
Well, that was interesting. The flag was actually thrown at the line of scrimmage. Usually that's a call you would see on the receiving team a little further down the field, but they had nobody back, so clearly something happened at the line after the kick.
Yeah, King has really done a disadvantage to themselves, but with all these penalties, false starts, holdings, personal fouls, I mean, there's no way you can come to this stage in the state championship and have all those penalties and come out with a successful game plan or whatever you want to call it. But King is going to have to cut that out. They have 1:34 left here in the 3rd quarter and the whole 4th quarter to do some things, and only down by 11, but they're definitely going to have to cut out the penalties.
First time that Lowell's been forced to punt today, and they have pushed King back deep in their own territory. It's not going to change what King does. They still spread him out. Posey's going to give, and he's got Kevin Willis in the backfield with him, and it's a good pickup on first down. Little breathing room for the Crusaders. A gain of almost 8 yards before Alex Anschutz brings him down. But King has scored their last 3 drives, and if the offense isn't unstoppable right now, certainly playing with a lot of confidence after being shut down early in this game.
Well, they figured out how to get a pseudo running game going, and that's getting some quick bubble screens out to the wide receivers and letting them make some plays, and they're putting drives together.
The keeper this time by the quarterback, Posey. He's into the secondary. Big gain, not only the first down, but he's out near the 40-yard line, and he almost broke it for something more.
And that's a great wrinkle to the run game. Just fake the ball up to the back. It looks like the back wanted the football, but Posey saw different. He saw that crease up the middle and was able to make a big play. But those are the type of things they're going to have to do. The running game's not working. Quarterback's going to have to make some decisions to pull the ball, or different things that's going to keep this offense going and keep that momentum.
26-yard gain in this first down near the 40. Give is again to Kevin Willis. He's going to try to get the edge on the right side, and he does, and he gets a first down at the 50-yard line, right to midfield, a gain of 11.
Yeah, and it seems like it's been a little momentum shift here. Just able to continue to get out on the edge. Lowell had done a good job all game of keeping the ball off the edge and having their corners come up and turning the ball back inside, but Kings found a way to get outside.
It's taken a long time for them to figure out ways to put that speed to use and get outside. Interesting that Willis in the backfield, he's kind of the scat back, as his head coach Dale Harvell describes him. He's the guy who's able to get yardage, but not Martel Pettaway today. Ball bounces on the snap, but picked up by Posey. Quick toss left side to Boyd. Boyd makes a couple men miss. Cuts it back toward the middle of the field. He'll be swarmed under there, but another big gain on first down. Derek Massey brings him down. And that is the end of the 3rd quarter. Detroit Martin Luther King on the move, down 11.
Season. It should have started at the end of last season. You have to believe in your players, then they will believe in you. You too can create a masterpiece. Let the big dogs eat. Fox Sports Detroit. It should have started at the end of last season. You have to believe in your players, then they will believe in you. You too can create a masterpiece. Let the big dogs eat. Fox Sports Detroit.
12 minutes to go. Red Arrows of Lowell are leading the Crusaders of Detroit Martin Luther King by 11. The Crusaders are on the move again. Their offense has come alive. Those 13 points you saw in the second quarter came after they just couldn't move the ball their first three possessions. Now they've found a way. And they're trying to get to within perhaps as close as 3 points with a touchdown on this drive. The fake right. Wanted to go deep, but Posey's going to check down short, and he's got a man. That's Ambry Thomas cutting across the field, far to the right side. He's got one man to beat. He's into the end zone. Touchdown. 41-yard play. Incredible run from Ambry Thomas from one side of the field to the other. And King within 3 if they can make a 2-point conversion.
Great play by two athletes on King's team. Posey here just sitting in the pocket, able to spin out and avoid the rush. And then getting the ball to Thomas, goes all the way back across the field. You can see the speed and the big playmaking ability by him. And King has been able to use all their wide receivers, not just Corley, Boyd, Hill. Everybody's contributed in the second half of this game.
King will not go for 2 with still so much time left. They'll get the one sure here. Remember, they did miss 1 extra point. Anwar Mia is on. Get King to within 4. High snap, good job, but the kick is blocked. The high snap might have cost them. Max Dean came in to block the extra point, and it's a 5-point lead for Lowell.
Great possession by King, mixing the run and pass, or the short passing game is their run game, but just being able to design some plays to have their guys make big plays. But that one goes to Posey. Posey did a great job of avoiding the rush and getting the ball to Thomas, who made the play across field and was able to get to the end zone.
Can't say enough about the job that Thomas has done today, Derek, as they've changed up their passing game and found Thomas a lot short. He wasn't one of the top receivers. You had Corley, you had Lavert Hill, you had Dontre Boyd, all averaging roughly 20 to 24 yards a catch. Thomas wasn't really in that mix, and he's been big today.
Well, I think what you have to realize is that Lowell understood that King understood after going in halftime that they were going to double Corley, and Lavert Hill started to show up, and then they come out the second half and pay a little attention to Lavert Hill, and now Thomas is coming alive. And you're right, they used him in a couple bubble screens, but now they get him out on the edge, and he's able to get across the field to score a touchdown. So they're using more guys to make big plays.
Fuller will kick off. That was a 41-yard touchdown. What do you think he ran? About 75 yards, maybe more? That was one sideline to the other. A line drive kick fielded by Seth D. Across the 20-yard line, following his blocker. Steps out of one block, but he's going to be knocked to the ground just past the 25-yard line. Lowell forced to punt for the first time today on their last possession. Now they'll try to find a way to possess the ball, run some time off this clock. They had not been stopped all day long until their last possession.
Yeah, and you almost see a different kind of intensity from King just on that kickoff, just everybody gang tackling to see if they can keep it up on this possession on the defensive side.
Out of the shotgun, Ryan Stevens. This crowd is alive here at Ford Field. Was there movement before the play? No. Stevens waits his receiver to go downfield. The ball is picked off at midfield. No. The ball popped out. Jeremiah Fuller almost had the pick, but when he landed, the ball popped free. It's just an incomplete pass.
Yeah, those are the skills that the coach talked about, is guys playing man-to-man and just guys able to make plays, going up big to get the interception, just couldn't hold it going to the ground. But you can see the ball skills that his defensive secondary possesses and the reason that they play man-to-man defense.
What kind of game has this been? 7 different players on the two teams have a play of at least 25 yards or more today. 4 for King and 3 for Lowell. Give is up the middle and a big hole for Max Dean as he gets across the 45-yard line and a first down for the Red Arrows. Gain of 19.
Yeah, Lowell can always reach in the back pocket and start their running game again. They came out first down to throw the football, but what they've done all game is run the football good, and you can see Max Dean there just coming through the big hole and alert enough to change the football to the right hand and avoid the turnover. Great run by Max Dean and the ability to get downfield.
Credit to Carson Murley up front to throw the block that freed Max Dean. Dean again gets to the right edge, and he's got another big gain on first down, thrown out of bounds. Will there be a late flag? No. That's a good no call, I think, right there.
No, it's just good aggressive football.
Dontre Boyd ran him out of bounds, but not until after Max Dean had picked up first down yardage, a gain of 11. And this is what we've been seeing almost all game long from Lowell. They've been able to move the ball consistently with big plays and also consistency on the ground from Max Dean.
Yeah, King's going to have to sell out on the run game and just live with the pass game. Their guys one-on-one, I think, can cover the receivers from Lowell outside.
First down, keeper for Stevens. He's got room up the middle. Oh, tripped up or he might have gone. Armani Posey, the opposing quarterback, brings him down, but another first down for the Red Arrows and another gain of 11 on first down.
Great job by Ryan Stevens on the misdirection. The running game's going now. He's going to come with the keeper to the left-hand side. Big hole. Great blocking by the offensive line. But Ryan Stevens is going to have to assert himself. He understands that they're loading up on the run, so now they're going to have to fake the ball to the running back and gain yards with him running it.
First down for Lowell, trying to answer the Crusaders. Stevens will follow his offensive line. Doesn't look like much, and then you look up and he's gained 4 yards on first down inside the 30-yard line of the Crusaders. Fourth quarter Division II state championship game. Lowell has been here before, 3 state titles since 2002. King has been here before. A state championship in 2007 and the best team in the state consistently all year long. Second and 6. Dean, left side, puts his head down, bangs forward. Tough running. Jeremiah Fuller knocks him down. That's shy of the first down marker. It's going to set up third down. They've got to get to the 21-yard line. The ball right now marked at the 23.
Yeah, you always look at the course of the game and try to figure out which was the biggest play. I mean, we could sit up here and say this is a big play, that's a big play, but this is a big play
right
for the
here.
King defense.
Dean in the backfield with Ryan Stevens. 3 wideouts. Give us to Dean, and there is no room to run. Armani Posey comes up and makes the stop. 5-point lead. And they'll go for it on fourth down.
Yeah, now the defense is selling out on the run. Guys coming in. You can see Posey coming in from his outside linebacker position, making the play.
And now here is that unusual formation that they tried the last time when King called timeout, where everybody gets up and goes and gets into a formation on the right side. And it drew, I believe, King offside.
Yeah, it's a 5-yard penalty.
Dead ball, encroachment, defense.
A very different look, even though that King had seen it once before, it still doesn't make it any easier to maintain your discipline and not go across the line.
Yeah, you figure if they've seen it once, the coach would have alerted them not to jump off fourth down. And they're just shifting. Offensive line never put their hand on the line, and so they're able to shift.
How about that? Penalty, first down for the Red Arrows. Stevens will keep it, steps out of one tackle, and hauled down at the 10-yard line. Good running before Armani Posey brought him down. Maybe a touchdown-saving tackle after a gain of 7. As Lowell relentlessly moves down the field, another flag, this one at the 10-yard line. So that would have been the defensive backfield for King. Already been whistled for 12 penalties so far today. Let's see what the call is here. Looks like they're going to pick it up and move it a little bit further. Let's see. Yes, they will.
5-yard face mask, defense, first down.
And again, those are the plays that the coach just kind of shakes his head. He's had these penalties all game, and tough run by Stevens, but at the end, just inadvertently grabbing the face mask.
Yep. And Lowell, when it gets down this deep, just seems to be unstoppable. Dean in the backfield. Has 3 touchdowns already. Bangs at the line and then keeps the legs moving. Gets maybe 3. Justin Turner makes the tackle for the Crusaders, bringing up 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Dean's been a workhorse today. All day, first guy that hits him doesn't bring him down, and he's able to take a 0-yard gain and make 2 or 3 yards being first contacted in the backfield. So Max Dean has been a workhorse today, and obviously Ryan Stevens getting it done. Great game plan by Lowell's offense coordinator.
Sure has been. Clock ticking down, every second precious right now for King especially. Every second that Lowell can take off also important. Stevens on the keeper, into the end zone untouched. Ryan Stevens and the Red Arrows back on top by 2 scores.
Yeah, that play was a no-brainer. You knew that Stevens was going to run the football. Lowell loaded up the right side, brought a receiver, tight end in, and just able to run, go in, end zone untouched. Great drive by the offense of Lowell.
Lots of creativity, lots of different looks. When that whole offensive line shifted, that was one of the big plays of the entire drive. Extra point is up, and it is good. George Gonzalez with the extra point. And now the Crusaders trail it by 12 with 7 to go in the fourth quarter.
After a tough workout, much more grass on top of it. It's delicious.
Lowell needed to possess the ball to answer the Crusaders, and they did, and they moved it on the ground relentlessly.
Well, they went back to what they did the first half, a big dose of Dean, and he's able to break tackles, and you see Stevens here finding the crease, finding the opening, and then the academic touchdown. Lowell's right-hand side of the line, go in untouched.
10 plays, 73 yards, and the running of Dean and Stevens leading the way for the Red Arrows. It'll take 2 touchdowns now for King. They trail by 12 points. Donnie Corley with the ball trying to get to the far side edge, and he does, gets it across the 40-yard line. 7 minutes to go. We've seen King take it well. On the drive just before halftime, they were on their own side of midfield, and they went 54 yards in 13 seconds, so that big play capability is there. But in the second half, Derek, a lot of shorter passes have been the successful plays, getting into the hands of their playmakers and hoping they can break something.
Yeah, and you're right. They do have the big play capability, but if they score in 2 plays, then Lowell gets the ball, and then they can run the clock, and you know what they can do. They can go downfield also. So it's almost like we talked about earlier, a double-edged sword. I mean, obviously you need the points, but you also need to give your defense some rest.
Armani Posey gives it in the backfield. Pettaway has been bottled up all day long. Nathan Stevens brings him down. It's amazing that they've just not been able to free Pettaway at any time today. Out of the backfield, really the biggest threat has been Kevin Willis.
Well, it's been a great game plan. Anytime they run the football, Lowell's done a great job of keying. Their defensive line is underneath King's offensive line, driving them back in the backfield, and Pettaway hasn't really been able to get going once he touches the football.
No gain on first down, 2nd and 10. 4 wideouts for the quarterback, Armani Posey. Guns it right side, ball bobbled, and in the end drops by Lavert Hill. That was not an easy catch as the ball was thrown low. If he'd been able to pick that up cleanly, it would have been a heck of a grab.
Yeah, I mean, just a good slant route. Got the defender off of him. Got to come up with that clean.
Yep.
Sometimes when you look inside and see guys coming, you take your eyes off the football for just a moment.
You never dropped the ball like that?
No.
You didn't hesitate there.
At least I don't remember.
3rd and 10. 12-point lead for Lowell. Midway point of the 4th quarter. Big play for the Crusaders. Over the middle, the ball is caught. And very close to the first down marker. A flag flies. It looks like we'll have perhaps another face mask. The helmet comes off as Boyd makes the catch. A gain of 11 on 3rd and 10. And it looks like they will tack on an additional at least 5.
Personal foul, face mask, on the defense, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Yeah, just a great play by Posey, just staring down the rush and able to make the pass over the middle in tight coverage. Great job by Dontre Board, just being able to get the job, catch the ball off his shoelaces. You can see here, I don't know if it was much of a penalty there, just the tackling high and the helmet coming off.
Yeah, high tackle, not a face mask, but it's 15 yards, and that's the biggest part of that development. As the Crusaders now have it on the 30-yard line of the Red Arrows. Willis in the backfield with Posey. And Willis gets the ball, and again the Red Arrows in the backfield, led by Trevor Sherlow, the senior defensive lineman. He sliced through that Crusaders offensive line, makes the hit in the backfield, a loss of 1.
Well, their linebackers have been all over the field today, putting pressure in the backfield. Coach said that they were going to pressure. That's what he told us on the conference call early in the week, and they've definitely done that with their linebackers.
2nd and long, Posey out of the gun. Looking left side. He's got Donnie Corley, and he's going to be ridden out of bounds right at the first down marker by Gabe Steed, and they give him enough yardage for the first down.
Posey's been very impressive today, just sitting in the pocket, and he's as advertised. You can see that long throw to the sideline and the connection with Donnie Corley. You know the timing is great because they've worked on it all year, and just a great route, sitting down on his hips, making the catch and going to the outside.
That's where the arm strength of Posey really comes in, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
He can gun it out there to the sidelines in a hurry. 4 wideouts, 2 on each side. Pettaway in the backfield to Posey. Posey's going to run. Takes it straight up the middle. Has room inside the 10. All the way down to the 1-yard line. Another great decision by Posey. Made the decision quick, and it's a gain of 18.
Yeah, Dan, you're right. I mean, this guy's a great decision maker. He steps back, and first guy's not open, second guy's not open. He sees the big crease up the middle, and the athletic ability and his running ability, able to make a play and get them down to the goal line.
Sure doesn't look like a guy who started the year at wide receiver. Low snap. He's going to run right side. He's in trouble. He's going to throw for it. He's got a man! Touchdown, Crusaders! Lavert Hill!
You can see Posey's ability to create plays and get away from defenders. He's done it all game, and now here just taking a snap, rush up the middle by blitzing linebacker, able to use his speed to get outside with the patience just to wait for a receiver in the back of the end zone, and Hill just keeping himself alive. Posey recognizing that, throwing at the last minute, even though the rush was in his face.
The boos you hear at Ford Field, they showed the replay on the big screen here, and well, Pettaway had a good grip, it looked like, on the man that he was blocking as Posey got away.
I don't know if there's a play that's ever been run. There was never a holding, someone holding.
In history, right?
In history, the history of the game.
They're going to go for 2, down 6. Posey's going to flip back left side. He's got a man, and he hangs on for the 2-point conversion. That's Martel Pettaway. Finally getting a touch and scoring points. He's been quiet all day, and now King within 4. We've got a great game counting down the final 4.5 minutes in Division II. (38-34) with just over 4.5 to go. You see the scoring quarter by quarter here in the Division II championship game. Crusaders' offense has become unstoppable. The Red Arrows have been unstoppable all day. Kind of game we were hoping we might see here today, Derek, with a lot of big plays, a lot of talented players, and a lot of offense, and it's played out that way.
Yeah, it definitely has, and King has made a surge in the second half and turned their short passing game into their run game and continue to make big plays, get the ball to different receivers, and they've been able to weave their way through the defensive lull.
The kick goes finally out of bounds. Ooh, that was a little nerve-wracking for the Red Arrows for a moment. The squib kick goes out of bounds inside the 5, and they will start at the 35-yard line. And now it's up to the Crusaders' defense. We know this is a talented defense. It has stopped some of the very best offenses in the state this year, but they have not been able to stop the Red Arrows today. And Harvell knows it, and he's looking for some big stops.
Yeah, well, that penalty didn't help. It gets it to the 35-yard line. I think what King's going to have to do is sell out on the run. Obviously, it's going to be Max Dean or Stevens, and maybe you give up a pass play, but you've got to stop the run and stop the clock.
They started to do that on the last drive, and then Stevens made some nice reads, didn't he, on that read option that you talked about earlier in the game.
And that's the element that Stevens brings. You talked about earlier. The coach told him he wanted to run. Well, he's running today.
Give his right side, and there's not much there for Max Dean. But the way Lowell is running the ball right now, every play that gains positive yards takes time off the clock. They know that they can break the big play for the first down. That offensive line has been terrific today.
Yeah, well, King hasn't got them in a second and long in a long time. They have always given up 4 or 5 yards on first down, so maybe this will bode well for them. Now it's 2nd and 8, and more manageable for this defense.
3 receivers bunched to the right side, right to the right of the right tackle, Mitchell Davis. The keeper, Stevens, fights out of 1 tackle, but he's only going to get a couple of yards before he's stacked up at the 40. Donnie Corley leading that tackling crew for the Crusaders and bringing up a critical 3rd and 5.
And that was great discipline by Corley, just staying home and knowing that Stevens runs that option and just able to keep those guys in the middle and make a play. And that's a big play. 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5. This is now manageable for the King defense. Everybody has to be assignment proof. I mean, if you have Stevens on the play, you make sure that you stay there. If you have a wide receiver, stay on them. They've done a good job covering guys on the outside. Let's see what they can do on this play.
That's Dean in motion right. Stevens under pressure, throws, has a man at the 40, but he will be right at the first down marker. Was that Dean? No, that was Avery Bacchius. And he is right at the first down marker, and that should be a first down. It is.
Wow, what a spot. Good play by Stevens, just sitting in there. He wanted to go to the tight end across the middle. They left the back coming out of the backfield wide open. And again, looks like an interesting spot.
Bacchius got to the 45. According to the officials, it looked like he was right there. I'm not sure that Dale Harvell agrees. But you're right, Stevens looked like he was in big trouble, and to get that first down with a throw, terrific.
We've seen 2 real deal quarterbacks here today.
Now the give on first down, and that's a big, important gain. Max Dean, 7 yards before Jaquan Boyd brings him down. King had to use a timeout earlier in this half. They can only stop the clock twice. 1 more first down, and they're, you would think, going to be in trouble.
Well, I would think they would have to start using those timeouts because this running game is going. I mean, you have to stop the clock and give your defense a chance. They're tired, and, that's a decision the coach has to make. But you're right, 2:28, 2:27, and they're driving.
Lowell trying for a 4th state championship under head coach Noel Deans. Leading by 4. Stevens on the keeper, nothing there, and you would think King would use one of their timeouts, and they do.
Stevens on the keeper.
Setting up an all-important 3rd and 3 for Lowell. The broadcast of this game is a copyrighted presentation of the Michigan High School Athletic Association and Fox Sports Detroit. No reproduction, retransmission, or other distribution of the descriptions or accounts of this game may take place without the express written consent of the MHSAA and Fox Sports Detroit. You're Noel Dean of Lowell. You just had a 3rd down conversion with a pass, but now with 2:14 to go, King can only stop the clock once.
Yeah, well,
are you thinking only on the ground here, or do you think they would be tempted to put it up in the air?
I think you run the football. It's 2-down territory. So if he doesn't get it here, I mean, obviously keep the clock running. And we've seen Lowell move the pile. I mean, Max Dean has done a great job. The offensive line's done a great job. Why take it away from your offensive line? I mean, they've done it all game, so give them a reward. I mean, I'm sure those guys on the offensive line went into that huddle like run the football, the football, and I think the coach is going to reward them with that. too much can happen when you throw the ball, put the ball in the air in this type of situation.
3rd and 3. Out of the shotgun. And again, they're going to try that same formation, and they got the penalty again. The offensive line shifting to the right drew the defense off a second time, and that is a huge penalty. First down for the Red Arrows. Derek, again, describe what we're watching here with this line and why this is legal.
Well, the offensive line never puts their hand on the ball, and they're able to shift before the play. And that's the 3rd time they've done it, 2 penalties. And you would think that King's defense would be a little more disciplined. They've seen them play twice in such a big situation.
The odd look for the defense works again, gets another first down penalty. Stevens will keep it running right side. A good push from the line, and that's going to be a gain of 4 on first down. 14 penalties. Have played big in this game for the Crusaders. They've got 1 timeout left.
52, Leon Page also makes the tackle for King.
Got to come up with the stop. Dale Harvell, the head coach for King, has got to decide when to use that 1 timeout.
2nd and 6.
Stevens cuts it back inside, and you would think King will use their final timeout right here as Damani Green makes the tackle. And they will. Talked about the great history of Noel Dean. Every class of every 3 years, those who have come up as sophomores have had a chance to play at least in the state semifinals. As you see the history right there in the last 15 years, because they started with 2002. So every class that has come up since, starting with the sophomores, will have a chance to play at least in a semifinal or a championship game. That's how consistent his program has been at Lowell. On the other side, Martel Pettaway, certainly thinking about him and his brother. It's been a very quiet day for him. He's just hoping he can get on the field one more time with his explosive offense.
And you can see why Lowell gets to the championship and in the playoffs. That we talked to Coach Dean earlier in the week, and he said they never play for a conference or state title, but they're here over and over again, and that's the mentality that he's set for these players, is just to play for each other and get better each week. We saw Dean earlier in one of the things where he was talking, where they don't worry about wins and losses; those will come, and that's a credit to Dean, the way he's coached this team year after year.
3rd down and 6. Stevens will keep it and falls down in the backfield. So King will get the ball one last time, assuming the Red Arrows punt it away.
Dan, that's an interesting kind of concept to not talk about a state title. I mean, usually when you're doing your goals at the beginning of the season, everybody wants to win their conference and come to the playoffs, but they never talk about it. And they end up here year after year or every other year. So, like we talked about, Dean's done a great job of coaching this football team. There's a lot to say about his coaching staff.
It really is. He said we don't define ourselves by what we do on the football team. They talk more about what you just said, the kind of people that they want to be. So delay the game call. And now for sure, Lowell will try to pin the Crusaders deep. They ran that down to 45 seconds. Join the conversation on the football finals this weekend by sharing your photos on Instagram and Twitter with the hashtag MHSAAFB. You might see them on the broadcast or on FoxSportsDetroit.com. Make sure you follow us on Snapchat at FS Detroit all weekend long. And the punt, oh boy, goes inside the 10-yard line. You couldn't have asked for a better punt from Gabe Steed, as he drops it 41 yards, and the ball is going to be marked at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, still kind of makes you nervous. King has big play potential, not just from one guy in Corley, but other guys have been making plays. You had Hill take one the distance, Boyd, so there's still some time. 37 seconds is a lot when King has the football with the potential that they have.
That's right. And the arm strength of Posey really can be a game changer. He can get that ball 40, 50 yards downfield with a flick of the wrist.
I like that, the flick of the wrist.
37 seconds. Donnie Corley is the man to watch. He has been under wraps for a good part of the day, and another false start will back King up another couple of yards to make their task just that much tougher.
False start against the Crusaders.
From his own end zone. Quick slant route and a big play on first down. And Lavert Hill smartly gets out of bounds. Big gain on first down. 22-yard gain out to the 25.
And King has the ability to get those plays in chunks. Posey, we've seen him throw some passes right on, just a double slant. He'll make some things happen, and like you said, Dan, with the awareness to get out of bounds.
That play did take 9 seconds, though. Throwing left side, and that ball is caught by Corley, but let's see if he gets the first down. He did, so they're going to stop the clock to move the chains.
He's got to down it here.
And Posey will just flick it down. 3 seconds off the clock. And down to 17 seconds.
Yeah, they're going out to their big play receiver. Corley taking the ball right off the carpet. Great concentration. With a little balance there. And knowing that people are coming to hit him.
Time for maybe 3 plays for the Crusaders. Down 4 in the final seconds of the Division II state championship game at Ford Field. The heat from the Red Arrows. Posey steps up deep down the middle, and he has a man at the 40-yard line. The ball came loose as Boyd was hit. Boyd is down, but it is ruled a catch for Boyd, I believe. They are certainly moving the chains after a gain of 25, 10 seconds left. As we take a look at the big hit on Andre
Boyd. Yeah, just Boyd on the skinny seam there and taking a big hit. And Boyd has done a great job in this second half or even in the first half of making plays down the middle and securing the catch.
Ball came loose. Obviously, he made the catch. The question was whether it was a fumble, but not the case. He clearly had the ball on the ground. And now the concern is for Dontre Boyd. 10 seconds left. We're going to take a quick break. 10 seconds left, a 4-point lead for the Red Arrows when we come back. That is a look at Dontre Boyd, and that is a good sign. That's what we were waiting for. He had been down, face down. He had been moving his legs. That was a good sign. But this is now finally the first moment he feels like he has the strength to attempt to stand up. He took a hit after a 25-yard gain. That's just the Lowell trainer out there as well. It's first down on the 40-yard line. You just lost one of your big weapons, but there are many other weapons for the Crusaders. Derek, your thoughts? The clock is going to start right here, so they're going to down it, but they still might have time for 2 plays.
Yeah, if they're going to get 2, it's going to have to be quick. We know they like to sit back there and take their time and unload downfield.
See if they go into the end zone here. Deep down the left sideline, had a man, but overthrown to Ambry Thomas, who is behind that Lowell defense, and if that ball's on the money, he's in the end zone.
Yeah, just beats the defender back. Coverage on the backside, safety trying to come over top the cover for the corner that in cover 2.
You like going with a similar play like that, or you just the Hail Mary?
No, I'd say something's come across the middle, maybe a deep end, and have your guys make a play after the catch.
This is it. King down 4, last play of the game. Posey back, has time, into the end zone, down the left sideline, and the ball is caught! Touchdown! King wins the Division II State Championship game! On the last play, Donnie Corley with a 39-yard TD catch!
Well, I guess I didn't know what I was talking about let a guy make a play. Well, a guy did make a play. Corley made a big play down the sideline. He's a guy we've talked about and highlighted all game, and at the end of the game, big players step up, and Corley definitely did that. Caught the ball at his highest peak. What a way to end the game. Never quit attitude by King and the coaching staff.
The Crusaders had to go 97.5 yards in 37 seconds, and they did. Incredible.
Yeah, it's very interesting. If we remember the coach talking at halftime, telling the players to never give up and make the adjustments, and you could see why this team kept fighting. I mean, it looked like Lowell had total control of the whole game by the way they possessed the ball and going up and down the field, but King was able to make big plays after big play when it counted.
The first lead of the day for the Crusaders is on the last play of the game. The play of the game is brought to you by Toyota. Look at the protection up front.
Well, we know Posey that can get the ball down, and something they probably worked on all year, just giving his wide receiver a chance to make a catch. And that 6'3", Corley, a big-time receiver, one of the top receivers in the country.
Wow!
Is going to make a play when you throw that football up.
You can't ask for better coverage than Gabe Steed gave the Red Arrows. He actually got a hand on that throw.
No, that was great defense. Good defense, but better offense.
Oh, my goodness. What a finish at Ford Field. Detroit Martin Luther King with their second state title on the last play of the game.
The MHSAA Football Finals on Fox Sports Detroit are brought to you by Arby's. Try the new A1 Special Reserve Steak Sandwich today.
That is a shot of a very happy couple. Teresa Pettaway, her husband, the parents of Martel Pettaway, and of course Devin Pettaway, the subject of our halftime feature. Their son died after the last state championship game, and now their son is experiencing the joy of a championship game 8 years later. Lowell, Red Arrows, you can only imagine the heartbreak on the other side, Derek. This is a finish the likes of which you will almost never see. It is just an incredible finish. 97-yard drive. Armani Posey, the star today, a new state record, 383 yards passing. The last of them coming on this incredible last play.
Well, I'm almost speechless up here. I mean, Corley just went up and great catch. I think the biggest part of this play is that Posey was able to give his wide receiver, Corley, a chance to make the play. He didn't throw it out the back of the end zone or out of, off the sideline.
That is Donnie Corley right there. Remember, he'd been quiet for a good part of this day. They found a way to get him the ball when it mattered the most.
Yeah, but when you're a player like Donald Corley, I mean, your time is going to come, and it was just a matter of time. Posey played a good game. You could see 383 yards, but Corley came up big at the end.
The 383 yards, a state record, 5 touchdown passes, a state record for the finals. What an afternoon, a game that we really look forward to coming in. It did more than live up to its billing. A touchdown on the last play of the game for a team that didn't have a lead the entire afternoon. Our final score in the Division II state championship game, Detroit Martin Luther King 40 and Lowell 38. For Derek Walker, our entire Fox Sports Detroit crew, I'm Dan Dickerson. Thanks for watching. Enjoy the rest of your holiday weekend.